I'm so exhausted. What do you want from me? Hi. How you doing? Wow. Why must we start this the same way every single time? Couldn't you give me a hello? Spooky understands. DS is saying, I'm surprised stream didn't start with BitB logo. I do casual streams differently. I just sort of like come on in here and hang out. You know, a lot less like theatrical. You know, what happens happens. What goes goes. I'm just sort of like relaxing and all that jazz. Oh, Everybody says hello. Hello. Phoenix had to take care of something. Cool. Dang, I'm broke now. See, that's what you do. You spend every single one of your points, and now you don't have points to do any of the cool stuff. Maple Leaf says they're eating ice cream. I know, and you mentioned that it's like mocha-flavored ice cream. I want it. I mean, I don't care that coffee doesn't sit well with me. I want it. Oh, you're making ratatouille? Oh, that's neat. Here, let me jump into a voice call in case somebody wants to, like, I don't know, hit me with a shovel. In audio form. Where am I? There am I. What? What the fuck? Why immediately? Just like this happened the other day too. Like we were gonna watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and I jump in just immediately. Hi, Maple. There's the shovel. No, I was like we were gonna watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie over in like the Watch Party channel, and like immediately when I jumped in, just like Pierce and like Z-Cell and everybody just like jumped in immediately, just being like, "Hi, we like Sonic. Play movie, please." Sank the Hedgehog. How you guys doing in the chat? But no, I mean, from a technical standpoint, you are really tiny. Technically. But you, like, design-wise, you, like, are tiny on purpose. Oh, happy birthday, Sean. Heck yeah. Still haven't played Bubsy 4D. I gotta do that. What? Oh, wait a minute. People are saying that you guys are muted. Is that true? Are they muted for you guys? Oh, they're not muted for me. Oh, sorry guys. I'm assuming Windows is smelly, and they probably did an update on like sound stuff and fuck things up. Sorry guys, everybody's been chatting in here talking about things, and here I am not delivering that to you. Whoops. All right, now which one of these? Nope. Robot. What are you outputting to? Let's check that. Okay, look at my user settings. No. Stop it. Would digital output work? I have no idea. I don't know. Somebody say something.
Hello.
What? Thank you, Maple.
Now I can't hear anybody.
What? On your
Hello,
end?
chat.
On stream? On what?
Well, now I can hear.
I'm scared. Okay, hello. So everybody's back. Zisa was talking about the fact that they have changed their Fugi, so now it like is properly framed, so now like you can see it in like bigger resolution. And I joke that technically speaking, you're still tiny. It's just, you know, you're tiny in chibi definition.
Yeah, it was some chibi art that my friend did for me, and then I tried to update my reactive to that. It had the whole body, so it was kind of hard to see when I was talking. It didn't look that good, so I fixed it, and now it looks good.
Oh, there we go.
But also, as I was also saying, happy birthday, Sean Chiplock.
Yeah, we were talking about how Sean Chiplock's birthday. And again, I need to go and play the Bubsy game, as well as probably some. Oh yeah, Base just immediately coming right out with it. How about that Digital Circus? For anybody in here that has not seen the Amazing Digital Circus finale, run now because we're gonna spoil everything.
We're gonna spoil it all.
Okay.
You had two.
And y'all have had 2 weeks, and you've had a couple of days to go and watch it on YouTube. At this point, you're full.
I got a spoilery profile picture now on Discord.
I need to go look at that. Hold on a second.
It's just. I don't see how it's a spoiler though. It's just Kane.
Yeah, but it's the scene where he runs into a wall. But it's the animation behind the scenes real.
Oh, that's fun.
I like to watch them and then just see if I can find a goofy non-smear frame and use that one.
It's like that one's good.
Yeah, I love like goofy in-betweens. They're
But
so
also,
freaking amazing.
I did share some amazing art that Sean got for his birthday with his persona as Kinger, and I love it. It's so cute.
Oh, really? That's fun.
Yeah.
You wanna know something crazy that I found out? I won't say not recently, but do y'all know the Papyrus rap?
No.
Probably heard it once before and didn't think about it.
If you have, it is sung by Sean. It's sung by him.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I need to find it. Give me a minute.
That is amazing. Here, let me put the Chiplock art on the screen for you guys, just so you guys know what we're talking about. There we go.
Sorry, it's called Papyrus Makes a Mixtape. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go. There's Sean's persona, except like Kinger.
You guys are furry.
Very cute.
It's adorable.
There, I posted it in the stream chat.
I'm a furry now.
I love how many Kinger cosplayers I saw yesterday that had buckets.
Yeah. Kind of has to at this point. It's like integral to the character.
It's become special. But yeah, we not only have the finale to talk about. Yesterday, I went to a convention in my hometown and met 5 out of the 7 members of the cast. Alex Rokon, Amanda Hufford, Lizzie Freeman, Marissa Lenthy, and Michael Kovac were all there.
Holy
and
shit,
they were amazing. And I wish I could have spent more time with them. They were so cool. I had to wait in line for over an hour, or like 45 minutes to an hour. There was one line that had to be more than an hour, but I lost track. But yeah, 45 minutes to an hour at least for Alex, Michael, and Amanda's lines. I'm pretty sure I was in. I'm also pretty sure I was in Lizzie's line for like half an hour, 40 minutes.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, the only line that wasn't insane was Marissa's for some reason. Marissa got to see 10 minutes, so.
Yeah. I have met some people that I consider to be like either celebrities or like low tier like internet celebrities in the past, and like I like to think that I'm a pretty well-rounded and like pretty chill and mellow guy when it comes to meeting somebody that I know about online. But like, man, I've had a couple of instances where I'll like get in front of them and then suddenly I don't know what the heck to say. And I'm just like, awkward sentence. Oops, didn't mean to say that. What I meant was other awkward sentence. Oh shit, I'm fucking it up.
It can never be as worse as me telling a voice actor that, hey, one of your colleagues died.
Hmm. Oh no,
What?
that's awkward.
Yeah.
Ugh. Wanting to meet Michael Kovac and Brandon Rogers for the longest time. Brandon Rogers. Give me a moment. I probably know who they are.
Blitz and Hell of a Boss.
Oh, gotcha.
And basically the co-creator.
All right. I want to meet the TADC cast, but sadly can't leave Illinois within the Chicago area. Well, I mean,
Chicago area is very...
Chicago
is
gets
the
quite a
Chicago
few.
area, though. They'll be there eventually.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure they'll
wouldn't-
be here eventually. I'm shocked they were here, because my hometown is... It's not a very big city. It's the capital city of the state, but it's like... My state is the middle... state is a nothing state that's in the middle of nowhere. So it's... yeah, I did not expect them to be here, because my area is very not notable whatsoever.
Man, weirder stuff's happened. Like, I know that there's this one place
Oh,
I
yeah,
went to.
yeah.
It was literally, like, from what I hear, it was actually, like, the place where I was born, which is, like, a really small town in the middle of nowhere, in the Midwest. And I actually went to, like, a convention there once where they had a bunch of really big celebrities, and it's just like, how did this place get you? What? You have nothing to do? You really bored? What's happening? My state's in the middle of nowhere. That describes 20 of them. Oh. I mean, my hometown was in the middle of frickin' nowhere. I
No,
also voiced Katie.
yeah, I'm talking like... Gabo, I'm talking like 7 hours to Atlanta, 12 hours just to the top of Florida, not even anywhere notable in Florida, just like to Florida in general, 12 hours to New York, and the nearest like big city, the actual largest city in our state. I live in the capital, but it's not the biggest city. The actual biggest city in our state, where a lot more things happen, that's 3 hours away. So yeah, I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere. It takes like minimum 7-8 hours to get anywhere of note.
Ooh, ouch. That's a lot of gas money. If only we
It
had
is.
light rail.
Yep, Atlanta's is where MomoCon is. Yep, I used to live in Atlanta, and when I did, I went to MomoCon almost every year, and I miss it horribly.
Hello, Kyle has joined in the chat. How you doing?
Oh God!
Good to see you too.
Yeah, happy to be here.
What you been up to?
Playing a lot of Stellaris.
Oh, very nice. I haven't done a heck of a lot or know too much about it, but like, I know it's space game.
They just got
I-
a DLC.
Yeah,
I've tried-
I've tried playing it before. It was a little overwhelming for me.
Oh,
I liked the concept behind it, and it was cool at first, but the further I got along with it, the more just overwhelming it got, and I felt like I had no fucking idea what I was doing. So I kind of just like, maybe this isn't for me.
When the game
Unfortunately.
first came out,
That-
it was a pretty standard 4X strategy, but ever since they've been adding content and adding content and adding content and changing things and adding more content, it's been getting a lot more complicated.
So
Even I
basically, if
almost
you
felt
weren't
bad
there
Yeah.
right from the
going back to
get-go,
it.
like,
Yeah, I had never played a 4X strategy game before, so
You have made a mistake.
yeah, I regret regret everything.
yeah, I have very little strategy in my bones. Like, if you put me in front of a chessboard, I'll take my king and like accidentally drop it in between the couch cushions and be like, oh, okay, I guess you win. I'm terrible.
Guess we should.
So
Guess we should have gotten Bitby to save Kane from deletion.
hello, I am Bubble Boy. Oh, I was gonna ask something. I don't remember
Abby,
what that was.
you will like this. I'll also put it in the image here.
Ooh.
The the beginnings of the Kane corner on my shelf.
Oh yeah, you were mentioning that you were waiting for
or where?
You were waiting
which
for some Kane merchandise to show up at your house, and unfortunately, you mentioned that it wasn't going to get there in time for the convention.
It did not. It got here, so it was when I ordered it. It said it would come on Friday the 19th, which would have been, and I was planning to go to the con yesterday on Saturday the 20th. So I'm like, oh great, that's awesome. That'll work out. And I will get my stuff. I will get the figure and the little mini plushie, just in time to take it to the con and have Alex sign it. I forgot June 19th was Juneteenth, which is a holiday, which means no mail.
Oh
Yeah.
So I did not get it until I got home from the con yesterday on Saturday, and I could not afford to go Sunday. So the con was also today, but I could not afford to go more than one day. So
Cons are expensive,
sadly,
yeah.
they got here just a little too late, but that's okay. I hope I will meet Alex at another con again someday in the future, because when I met him yesterday, I was a complete mess.
Oh yeah.
So
And we
Kane's
all-
art in the
Good
finale.
news. The good news is that you did get a signed print from Alex, so you
Yes,
didn't come back with nothing.
I was incredibly cringe about it, but yes, here's the thing. I've been to a lot of conventions. When I lived in Atlanta, I went to MomoCon and DragonCon every year, which are huge and have tons of guests. And I've always been really cool and chill with all of those guests when I meet them. I'm just like, hey, hi, how are you? Love your performance, love your character, it's so awesome. And then we chat, and it's, just excited and fine. I'm not nervous at all, because I know they're just people like me, and I'm totally fine. I'm not nervous. I'm totally chill. This was the first time I can really think where I just clammed up in front of a VA, and I waited in line, and I was all excited, and then I got up to him, and the moment I looked him in the eye, I froze, because all I could think was just all of the emotions that Kane and his art gave me in the finale, and are still making me feel even 2 weeks later. And a couple days later, because I rewatched the finale twice since it's been on YouTube.
Yes.
And it just made me feel a lot of things. So
I've watched
could
it
barely
once,
talk
and
to,
I'm like, I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to watch it a second time. Maybe not right now. Later.
Yeah,
I did
fair.
have on Tumblr. I saw I survived episode 9 badge.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Permission to show your Kane stash?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I don't know if there's
froze up, stumbled, could barely speak, and poor Alex had to be like, "Hey, it's okay. Calm down. Deep breaths. Don't be so hard on yourself." And I was so horribly flustered and embarrassed, just apologizing, and asked him, "Hey, if it's not too cringe, can you write this thing on the print?" Which is the thing that I had him write on the print. And then have him say it with the pup, because he has the Kane puppet. Because there is an official Kane plushie puppet that is also now back in stock on the Glitch store. So I bought it because I refuse to be a responsible adult. Anyway, so he had that, and so he would do Kane lines with the puppet, and it was just I just melted.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. And then he gave me a hug, and I hugged him a lot, and that was I was very humiliated.
I imagine
hopefully
there's
he
probably
understood.
There's probably a lot of
Humiliation.
people that do the exact same thing, and I'm sure he's used to it. So, don't take on too much of that embarrassment. It's fine.
I know, it was just very embarrassing for me, because I'm usually not like that in front of VAs at all. Afterward, he was the first one I talked to, and then all of the others afterward, Lizzie, Michael, Marissa, and Amanda, I was completely chill. We were totally fine. I was totally fine. We had normal, cool conversations. It was awesome. I was so happy to talk to and meet to them, but for yeah, like that's how emotional Kane's character it makes me. Is that I just blue screened when I met Alex,
I must ask.
and I feel like a doofus.
Have you ever met Sean Chiplock in person?
Not in person yet, unfortunately.
That's the other person I'm just like, I wonder what would happen.
No, see, the thing about Sean, I would go up to him and just like high five him immediately if I met him in person, because I've known him online for like 5 years now. Sean, I practically, yeah. So Sean would be like, no, Sean would be like just me meeting an online friend offline because I've known him so long and we're so cool.
That's fair. Yeah. Like, I mean, the internet is a pretty good icebreaker. So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he did have the puppet Ebe. What are you looking at? This is my stuff. Get out of here. Yeah, the way the mini plushie is, it's kind of like kind of gives him that sort of DreamWorks eyebrow expression. It's funny.
I think one of my favorite freaking interactions I've ever seen done with Alex in convention is somebody asked him to do the entire Joel Vinesauce like color fun monologue. I don't know if you've ever heard it.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
It's freaking great. Oh god, I need to hold on a second. Let me just so you I could probably play it on the stream or like, you know, play the audio of it. Here. Okay, hold on. Where is it? It's gotta be. Oh, come on, somebody had to have uploaded it, right? I know it's on like social media.
Also, high five, Phoenix. Loving Kane. I'm very jealous you have the plushie of him already. I don't know when mine is gonna get here. Either one, because I bought both when I tried, because after I saw the movie, I wanted to get the puppet plush, but it was sold out. So I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll get the regular one. And then it told me it wasn't gonna ship until the end of July. So I'm just like, well, frick. Guess I'm waiting on that. And then as of today, I saw, because Glitch was like, hey, the final episode sale, everything's 15% off. I'm like, oh, I'll go check and see what the prices are looking like now with the discount. And I saw they got the puppet plush back in stock. So I'm like, well, I'm going to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
it's like,
you gotta, man.
And yeah, so yes, I will have multiple Kane plushes, but like, I own 14 Bill Cipher plushes, so this is not new for me.
Your collection must expand.
I just finished a really cool thing.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Yay, sure.
I need to check out the store. Oh, sorry.
Oh, what was that?
I just finished a Kane plushie. Look in the image share.
Oh.
Oh, Hubby! Oh my god, that's so cute! Oh.
It's got fishbowl eyes.
For Kane.
Oh, he's so cute, baby.
He's got a key on his back, or like a key ring looking thing.
Yeah,
he's like a little keychain. He's a keychain.
Permission to throw that on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, there.
Because I wanted a keychain plushie of him because there's no official one, so I just made one.
Yeah, they only have the regular acrylic keychain, which I have, but they only have the plushie keychains of some of the characers.
You're just like, hey, screw it, I'll do it myself.
Oh no.
I need to check out the Digital Circus store whenever I get paid next week or so.
Yeah.
Or whenever I get back from vacation.
Goober!
Hopefully that'll be before the sale ends, because I think July 2nd or something, there's a 15% off on all the Digital Circus stuff until I think like July 2nd. So you've got like another week or two.
Shimmy, shimmy,
I'm
yeah,
not
shimmy,
gonna
yeah,
be paid
shimmy,
till the first check. I'm gonna be out of town.
Swallow la la, swallow la la. Okay.
Got a phone call.
Oh, Happy, you did so well. That's so cute.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a horrible pun. I eyeballed these eyeballs.
Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Drink, swalla la la.
Well, you did great. It looks fantastic.
Swallow la.
Thank
I forgot I
you.
uploaded that.
I might need to.
Kanan in that picture looks like he's mad at a Play-Doh or art clay. Yeah, you see spelled. Very adorable.
Yeah, he does look a little Play-Doh-y. It's cute though.
Kinda. So I tried to look up a video of Alex saying the thing, but I couldn't find it. Probably could scan through my entire Blue Sky likes. I'm not doing that live. Basically, so there's this really famous, or I guess not ridiculously famous. You know Vine Sauce Joel, right? Or like, you know, the funny Swedish guy that's on the Vine Sauce crew, right?
Yeah.
He did a stream where he was doing like old shareware software from like the 1990s, and there was a game called Color Fun, and he fucked around with the game and made like it's like a kid's game, and it's just like, hey, guess the color. This is the color blue, and then you click the color blue, and it's just like, yay, you picked right. He messed with the audio in the game and replaced it with his own, and he made one of the lines say a certain thing, and somebody asked Alex to actually say that line that Joel said. So what Alex said as Kane was, yo, shit for brains, what goddamn color is this? Huh? You fucking blind motherfucker!
I know which one you're talking about.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Coming here and shitting in my mailbox? Playing my goddamn video games? You're gonna learn about colors, you dumb foreskin! And then he leans over to like Ragatha's VA and it's just like, hey, what color is this? It's like, red. And what color is this? It's freaking great. I love it.
That's incredible. I'll have to look for that.
I don't know where it is. I'll throw it somewhere if I can find it. But like, I
Oh man,
laughed hysterically
Phoenix,
when I
that
saw
just
that.
makes me think though. They should do the whole cast should just do like a Q&A in VR chat. Make. I'm sure they honestly they probably exist already. VR chat avatars for all of the digital circus characters. The VAs go in there with those avatars and they can just do a Q&A or just fucking around with them. And that sounds hilarious. I want to see that.
That would be cool. I'm willing to bet that like now that the series is over, I don't suspect that there's a whole lot that they're limited to talking about or doing as their characters now. Aside from like, you know, don't say something that makes Gooseworks or Glitch look bad. That's about it.
Yeah. Goose and Glitch are pretty chill about that in general.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of like doing voices for things that maybe you don't own. Something may or may not be finished, and I'm just waiting for some thumbnail art to get done.
Ooh.
Just saying that. Not going into any further detail. It's stupid.
Excited.
I may
though.
have dropped a little hint as to what it is on Blue Sky, if you follow me there.
And here I coded
Oh
with
yeah,
Project
the
Zero.
DS Galindo. I know that video you're talking about. So Alex Rokon has two like saying a lot of things as Kane videos on his channel where he's just people just gave him comments of like things that he should say as Kane, and he has one that's just family friendly, and they have another that is not. Yeah. So on one of them is it's like some Reddit post or something where some guy is talking about like, well, my wife left me, but she took the PlayStation 2. And that one's pretty funny.
I love those videos. Freaking great.
Marissa Lenti also did one where she says things as Gangle, but the comments are all people not believing that she's the actual voice actress. Because she's also a VTuber.
You're not the actual Gangle. You're not Gangle. You're imposter.
Yeah,
no Gangle.
Because she's a VTuber, so I guess a lot of people knew her through her VTuber persona. So she posted, like, by the way, I'm the voice of Gangle. And then people were like, I don't believe that I think that person is Marissa Lenti. And people didn't know that she was Marissa Lenti. So it's just Gangle reading a bunch of comments about how Vixen VTuber is not actually Marissa Lenti or her voice actress. It's very funny. And I feel very bad.
Are you telling me that a voice actor happened to want to be a VTuber as well? That's not something that happens in this world. What are you talking about?
I do believe I might hop off to start winding down for tonight because I gotta wake up early in the morning for work.
Okay.
Very valid. Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
saying
it's
hello.
been a hot minute.
Have a really awesome night, and have a good chill night as well.
Thank you, thank you. I might be
Alright.
Yeah.
chilling out later if I can't fall asleep, but you know.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.
Amazing digital search.
Some other fun
Nice.
things from the panel. Let's see here. I wrote them down earlier. So some other fun things from the actual panel, because at the con there was a digital circus panel with the cast, mostly just people asking them questions. So some of the ones from it were I kind of forgot, but I talked about it earlier today, so I am looking for it.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here it is. They were asked what panel. At the panel they were asked what each of their, in episode 5 with the mini adventures, they asked which of the actors which was their favorite one. Lizzie said Lizzie's was President Pomni, of course. Michael and Alex wanted more of the stargazing adventure. Amanda wanted more of the anime school adventure. And Marissa said she liked the safari adventure because she likes it when Gangle suffers. She likes to torture her own character.
I don't blame him, honestly. That's just sort of like, I think anybody who does a character in some capacity does have like a compulsion to punt that character down a set of stairs. Not because you hate the character or anything, but it's just because it's like, you like to fuck with it. Just like, hey, look at it tumble.
That's pretty much what Marissa said. She likes to voice Gangle suffering.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why do you think I've done so many different like characters, either of my own or otherwise, where I have put them in really miserable, crappy situations?
Yep. It's just fun.
Because it's funny.
Also, Pierce then reminded me with that something I never put together before because I'm stupid. In A Hat in Time, Marissa is also the voice of the fire spirits.
Yeah.
The ones that say, "We want to die! Yay!" And I don't know how I never put that together because that's basically just her Gangle voice. It's like the exact same voice.
I remember that was one of the first things people pointed out in like the fandom. They were just like, "Hold on a second, this sounds familiar," and then they were like, "Wait, these two characters are the same." Kind of.
I never noticed it.
I mean, Gangle also
Pierce
just
had to point it out to me with a little animation someone did that he sent me of Gangle animated to that audio. She's just going, "I want to die, yay!"
I think I've seen that one. It's like very well done.
It's very short, but it's very well done and very funny.
Spooky's trying to draw a reindeer in the magma. Ooh, good luck on that one. Without a reference. That's scary.
That's hard.
Like, when I drew Snab needed like, I just brought up a Google page of like all cartoon crabs and went, okay, what elements of cartoon crabs do I like? And then I'm just like, now none of you go away. Stay right there. I'm gonna draw things. By the way, Snap, how you doing? What did you think of the TADC finale? Understood. Yep. Jax is an asshole. But reasonable.
Reasonable. Another question that they answered, what new adventures would each character want to go on after the end of the series? Lizzie said that Pomni would want to go on an urban exploration in the back rooms.
That'd be fun.
Yep. Michael said Jax's adventuring days are over, as we know, but it'd be nice if they could go for a swim with Ribbit and Kaufmo. I thought that was sweet. Alex said Kane would like to play D&D with everyone now, with him as the DM, now that he better understands what everybody wants out of their adventures. And Amanda said Ragatha wants a karaoke night.
Ooh, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I forgot what Marissa's answer was.
Okay, well now I'm just thinking about all the characters and like what song do you think each of the characters would end up singing?
Oh, that was another question they answered. What's everybody's favorite song? Ragatha's is "Walking After Midnight," which I see. That's like a classic, like folksy country song that definitely fits her. Jax apparently listens to a lot of emo music, which I completely understand. It's like that's the least surprising thing ever. That's the least surprising thing ever. Kane loves Broadway show tunes, particularly Chicago.
Oh, couldn't have put that together for Kane.
Yep, that's perfect.
The one who's running the show, you know.
Yeah, of course. What did I think Marissa said? Marissa said something I didn't recognize. I think it was some K-pop or J-pop or something.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, for Gangle, I think it was. I'm not entirely sure because it was something I didn't recognize, but it sounded like it was like something from
Gabo
some
even said
K-pop or
like
J-pop thing.
I feel like Gango would love K-pop rather.
K-pop, yeah.
I mean, yes, that too.
Yes, Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
What was Pomni's answer? What did Lizzie say for Pomni? It was something really good, but I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't remember.
Well, considering Abigail is a fairly like young individual within like the 2010s, I feel like they would be really interested in the music that would have been around during like the honestly, yeah, I think they would like either like the late 2000s or the early 2010s.
Yeah,
the music around there. So I think a lot of like really big pop influence happened around that time. So if I had to guess, like Lizzie would probably, well, you know, Pomni would probably like that specifically.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think it was some pop music, but it was kind of more not, that wasn't like the most mainstream thing, but it was something I was like, oh yeah, I could see Pomni liking that. I just can't remember what it was.
Or some sort of like weird alternate, like, you know, alternate music kind of thing, like folk. Well, not folky, but like I don't know, just an alternate wave kind of thing. What is it? Indie artists?
Yeah,
I think that would be I think that would fit Pomni really well. I think.
Yeah, so a mix of like both pop and indie stuff. She seems like she enjoyed a lot of different music. Zubul is the one that Ashley wasn't there, but I definitely imagine Zubul is the one who listens to like all the weird alternative hipster music that nobody's ever heard of.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Nah, you wouldn't understand it. My vibe, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I just had a horrible thought. And then Gummy Goo is literally just nothing but like, you know, frickin' Land Down Under.
Oh, they were also asked, what would you guys do in the Candy Canyon Kingdom? Alex says like, get all of the peach candy and hoard it and steal it. Amanda would hang out in the castle with the princess. Marissa would kiss Gummy Goo. What did Michael would eat one of the gummy alligators.
Yeah.
I
think I would look for anything that's chocolate and then just go ham.
Yeah.
That
I think Lizzie's was like just like take a bite out of literally everything.
Sugar crash. Spooky is asking if I want to see the deer that is currently being drawn. I see a couple of things that are being drawn on that page. Let's take a look at the magma, why don't we? There we go. So yeah, there's the deer. I can't draw deer. It's fun.
Oh, it's cute.
Hey, no, it's adorable. That's like a Rudolph thing. It's very cute. And then we got some like bleh. Yeah, baby. very sleepy. And kitty faced bit over in the corner over here. Here's a
That's
fun
adorable.
fact for you for anybody who's interested in drawing anything related to bit. I don't have any like toggles or anything to actually enable this. I could probably figure out how to do it based on my facial expression alone. But the bubbles on the side of the head here, depending on what mood I'm in and depending on like whether I'm excited or happy or sad or whatnot, these bubbles change shape. That's canonical.
Oh,
So like this is neutral. This is just like what they look like standard.
that
And-
would be such a cool toggle for you to have at some point.
Oh, I would. Oh yeah, you're erasing the thing. I was just gonna say that shape of bubbles that was on here previously, that is actually like the happy bubbles. Like, you know, oh hey, look, hearts.
Heart bubbles.
But the bubbles when they're like, you know, bottom and then like curved all the way up, that's me being happy. And I've actually drawn this before when I'm like really sad and really upset. The bubbles droop.
Oh. Oh, they turn into teardrops and just start like raining down.
I do like the idea that they're just like constantly generating like some weird soda fountain and popping on the way. That's kind of
Also,
cute.
Hobby, I see you drawing the little cane. That's so cute.
No, you don't.
What kind of artistic hell am I in?
You're in the hell of. I like to draw Kane. He's currently my blob for.
Absolutely.
He's mine
valid.
too.
Yeah,
My-
let's go. How
my
do
baby
you
blob.
relate? How do you relate?
My
to
baby
him?
Brabo.
Look at the sad boy.
My silly baby
There he
Brabo.
goes.
I need to know how you relate to him.
So up until the finale, Kinger was my favorite character because I have Sean Shiplock bias, and also I love the wholesome dad of the group. It's hard not for me to love that.
Happy
But then
Father's Day,
I
everyone.
watched the finale, and the whole. Okay, I'm just gonna scream about the entire Kane in the Void sequence, which is freaking beautiful. Yeah, after being deleted, he got to be deleted in the circus means you get into the, as is the case for most computers, you aren't gone, you just go to the recycle bin, and I guess the recycle bin in the circus is just yeeted out into the void. So he's yeeted out into the void after being deleted and starts self-reflecting, and then is wandering through the void, and then eventually comes to a door. And so the whole sequence is just dialogueless visual, some of the most beautiful visual storytelling I've ever seen in my freaking life. I love visual storytelling. That's like my whole thing. That's why I wanted to go do animation and art, is because I love stories and I like telling them with visuals. So he's walking towards this door, and he can't reach it because it's at the end of this like part of the void that you can walk on or reach. And so he sits at the end of this like cube that he's on, with the door like further up above and further away, and thinks about how to get there. And then he starts making shapes, solid shapes to form like a staircase. So he makes a couple of blue cubes, but then after like trying to make like the third blue cube for the staircase, it doesn't work. It just falls into the abyss. So he tries it again, and the blue cube still doesn't work. So what he has to do is he has to make a shape that's like a different color and a different shape. So he makes like a red cylinder instead. and then that works, and then he has to do it again, but then it's like but it's like an orange triangle or pyramid or something. So he has to keep making different shapes to make this staircase that he's ascending. And that's so beautifully symbolic because it's symbolizing how he needs to think outside the box and change and do things differently than he would normally think to do them. And so as he's climbing the staircase that he's made out of these different shapes, it shifts back and forth between showing Kane as himself, his current self, and showing him as the red program dot that we saw him when we kind of got his little like origin story at the beginning of episode 8. Which also, by the way, was some beautiful visual storytelling. Also, just a wonderful, awesome sequence that really is very creatively shows how like learning AI works and things like that. That's also awesome sequence that I appreciated even more after the finale. So yeah, it goes back and forth between showing him as himself and the red program dot, and eventually, as he's climbing the staircase, he gets to a wall, and he can't. And it's like an invisible wall that he can't move past. And so he reaches out to it to try and do something about it. And you also see the red program dot, also an actual arm coming out of the dot to reach out and touch the wall. And then he's like focusing on it, and then the wall breaks and it shatters, and it you see all these like pieces reflecting that reflects him as he's continuing to walk through the barrier that he broke and across the bridge that he's made, and he looks very serious while he's doing this. So it's it's like this reflection of there is more than just Kane than just this goofy, silly, wacky kind of screwed up ringmaster character. There is more to him than that. And you can tell just how important this is to him and how much it means to him that he gets through this and gets to this door. So, and then he does it again, breaking through a bunch of more of these similar kinds of barriers and letting them shatter. And as he's doing that, you see it going back and forth between the red dot. And as he's climbing, the red dot slowly becomes more and more humanoid, with the dot becoming the head, and he grows the legs and arms and a body. And it's, oh my god, that symbolism is so freaking beautiful. Because it apparently, the immediate thing you realize it's a symbolism of him becoming more empathetic and becoming more human and finally starting to comprehend and understand humanity and humans better. But also, someone had to point this out to me, it's also kind of a sort of flashback to also when he was becoming not just that little AI program, but just like, you know, like a person with feelings and emotions and, you know, more human before he really becomes more human, if that makes sense. But no, it's just beautiful, like multiple layers of symbolism about the way that he developed as a character and as a person. And
see, the way that the way that I interpreted it was more along the lines of the latter of what you're talking about, of like it like, to me it was clearly a case of like we know his origin story in a very major way, in that we know that he was an AI, he was fed data and like as some input, and he learned how to release output, basically. And then he was boxed up and shelved and like set aside while they started working on a different project. And then he broke through his confines and, you know, caused chaos after that. And what I interpreted from like that entire sequence was basically the visual representation of finally being able to see how he went about doing exactly that. Where he, like,
that too.
You know, managed to climb his way out of his confines, breaks through whatever firewall is keeping him in those confines, and allowing him to like roam free and do whatever he wanted inside of the computer.
Exactly, yes. So it both represents his past and his present. There's multiple layers of symbolism going on, which is what's so freaking genius about it. And then you see, as you know, when he finally gets to the door, it's like this deliberate contrast between like then and now, because when you see him in the past, you see him as the red program dot in the past. You see the moment where he approached the mind scan files, and he took the mind scan files and basically made and created the first people of the circus from that file, specifically Scratch, Mike Dobby, who, you can see him taking that file that says Mike Dobby, and then he does some things to it, and then it spawns in the circus as the dog guy, as Scratch. And then that's contrasted with the now, where he has the files, everyone's names, Abigail, Zoe, Riley, all of them. And he finds with the internet connection that he found, that was the actual thing that was through the door. It was like a Wi-Fi connection at a nearby cafe. And he puts their names into the internet search so he can find the socials of the real versions of them and what they're up to now, so he can show the people in the circuits like, hey, this is what your real life counterparts are up to in the real world, because I want you you have the right to know about them, and I'm sorry I kept this from you.
I love how
it was really that's just so freaking beautiful. My God.
How
What
much
were
do
you
you
saying,
guys
Kyle?
know about Bungie?
Bungie, what?
Because they, in Marathon, well, actually, a lot of their games, they mentioned something called AI rampancy.
Oh, yeah.
It has 4 stages: melancholia, anger, and jealousy are the first 3. The AI usually ends up being destroyed after the 3rd. The 4th stage of AI rampancy is metastability.
And what does that mean?
That means that that after everything it's been through, it becomes stable. It essentially humanizes itself.
I can see how that connects. Yeah.
Which, that's the worst thing in the world, and we can't let that happen.
Well,
But
in
it's
this
got to
case,
make
he
it through the
also,
first 3 stages without destroying itself.
yeah.
It's like it's like a weird version of robot puberty.
Oh, but then also, after he looks up all of the real world counterparts of the people in the circus, he lets the blue AI go, the one that he was initially jealous of. So he did go through a jealousy phase where he was jealous of the other AI project that they were working on after him, absorbed it, but then at the end realizes he has to let it go. And he apologizes to it and lets it go, and I cried. Because that's very, very beautiful and shows how much he's grown.
It is kind of one of those maybe I shouldn't have 2 different brains in me. That's a bad idea. You go over there. Also, Spooky says gonna go to sleep. Have a very good night. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out. So yeah, have a good one.
Thank you, Spooky. Good night.
Somebody on socials, they did point out how funny it is that apparently Kane got access to the World Wide Web, and the first thing he did was not decide to destroy humanity.
Nope.
As opposed to all of the other stories where AI becomes sentient and reaches out to the internet.
Good on you, mate.
It's so thanks, Kane.
Yep.
Yeah, you did a positive there.
And also, right after that, Alex Rocon's favorite scene is when when Kane comes back to the circus and it's nighttime and the moon is out, and he's like, I don't know if I deserve to be forgiven. And the moon is just like, give it time. I still love you. And Kane says, I never programmed you to say that you love me. And the moon just smiles at him and says, I know. And it's really, really sweet. Because especially since the moon is voiced by Gooseworks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like her telling her creation that she still loves him no matter what. That's just so freaking sweet.
That's adorable. Do we know
It was so sweet.
In lore wise, what does the moon represent in this?
just the moon.
Do we know? Does the moon have any
No, the
extra
moon-
meaning to it? Where did the moon
No,
initially come from, anyway?
It's just one of the circus's AIs that Kane created, basically. Because he says, "I never programmed you to do this." So Kane made a bunch of other AIs after making the circus, and just the moon and the sun and all the NPCs are those AIs.
Yeah, one of the
Anyone
things that
who went
did...
to the cinema, here's a funny thing. So, the fish comes at the very beginning to give some summarize with please don't spoiler, and then he
Yeah.
says I don't want to die, please don't go, and then the movie plays, and then at the very end credit that fish dies.
Yep.
Oh, oops. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
you can't also if you want to find that bit is on YouTube. It's so that fish is voiced by Zach Hadel, Charlie from Smiling Friends.
Okay, yeah.
So you just can't unhear that. At least I can't. But yeah, it's the message from the fish saying so this is the end of the series. If you aren't caught up, you have 30 seconds to do that. Sorry. Also don't spoil anything, and don't leave me. I'm very lonely. I don't want to die.
Sun God
fish
says,
guy.
I interpret Kane as letting the blue AI go as letting him as having. I interpret him letting the blue AI go as him letting go of his ego, which could interpret it that way.
It's a moment of humility.
But one thing I did think about when that entire Kane sequence was happening was it must be interesting being because obviously Kane is kind of the builder of this entire world. He built it off of a whole bunch of the stuff that he had access to at the time, including a bunch of the files on the computer and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he did build everything. And it must be interesting to have done all of that and then to after he's been gone for so long, come back and realize that everybody who was created for the circus are running the circus perfectly fine without him. That's got to be a sobering thing to basically be God and realize that the things that you created are keeping on without you.
Yep.
I'm just huh.
And that's
Shit.
definitely another reason why he's just no, I think they should have control. I shouldn't be the one in control anymore. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want and have I think something he says when he's letting the blue AI go is I can make these people, but tell them what to do, but wasn't their free will what made them appealing in the first place? So he understands that's what's beautiful about humanity and accepts that to let them be human. It is a beautiful inversion of it's so interesting because it's very directly inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, but it's completely flips it on its head. It's basically the story if the AI loved humanity rather than hated it.
Yeah, that's adorable, I think.
I just wanted to give Gain a hug after the Avad show.
Same.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of characters
Alex
that I just wanted to hug
quite
in
a
so
lot.
many scenes.
I hugged his puppet. He is my baby boy.
I relate to him on many levels.
Same. Also,
Including
Alex
the
does too.
thing.
He says Alex has a really, really good Blue Sky thread talking about all his thoughts on the series after the end of finale, and talking about he connected with Kane a lot in terms of also being neurodivergent and understanding that thing of having this thing that you're really passionate about, but maybe not being but being kind of insensitive about it, even though you don't mean to be.
One other thing that I am thinking about is the entire sequence of Kane, basically having this gigantic gap between him and the door. I feel like that could also be a little bit of an allegory of him putting down all the shapes and trying to climb them meticulously, messing up on a whole bunch of the shapes, but slowly and steadily climbing his way up. I feel like that itself could be an allegory for a lot of the struggles that people with neurodivergent problems have.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, he literally knocked his head on an invisible wall. The invisible wall in your brain when you try to clean your room, but just you can't get up, and you're like, ah.
The
Yes.
ADHD is killing me. Yeah, right.
Yep. It's
There's
too
a lot of
real.
stuff
Oh my
about Kane
God.
that I like identified with, and like
Yeah.
a lot of elements like that definitely were just like, yeah, man.
Absolutely.
I'm an awkward
like,
goober,
honestly,
and I say
that's
stuff I probably
that's
shouldn't.
why I think the show has gotten so popular and reached so many people, and why so many people are so passionate about it. I think the characters are so well written to the point where there is something relatable about, like, no matter who you are, you're gonna find somebody that you connect to, and you might even connect to everybody a little bit on some level, which is what I do. I connect a little bit to Kane, I connect a little bit to Gangle, I connect a lot to Zubul, actually. Connect some to Pomni, and even Jax. Like, I used to be kind of an asshole, and but I learned and I got better. And Jax is a good story about what kind of happens when you don't get better, when you kind of let all that negative parts of you just consume you, and why you can't and shouldn't let that happen. You should open up to people, and you should let them help you, and you should be able to learn and change and grow and accept yourself.
Gabo mentions the bee stuff. I think Queenie made him a little autistic, whether it was intentional or not. Well, it's funny that he has like a bee hyperfixation.
I know, it's cute.
I don't have a problem with
that was another question the cast got asked, is like, what other hobbies would each of the characters have? And Alex Rokon said Kane would be a beekeeper.
Yeah, adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, one of the things that I literally lost sleep over this, but like there were so many little tiny things that I would just be lying in bed and I would be thinking of, like, a lot of the things that happened during the finale, and I would loop back to something that I remember happening in the previous parts of the series and realizing that there was a direct correlation for why that happened in the first place. Like, not only are the characters really well written, but also, like, there was actually a point and a plot and, like, a reason for everything that happened. And, like, you don't see it right away, but once all the pieces are there, like, they're there. And I think that's something that I as I've gotten older, I appreciate that a hell of a lot more than I did when I was, like, younger. Where, like, oh, stupid show with simple concepts and simple plots. Like, whatever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just it's nice to have something like that. Something where you can tell the person who made the thing had a plan from the start and had everything all set out in stone, and like they knew what was going to happen, and they know what all the characters are, and they are, this is their story and they're telling it. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Goose had a story she wanted to tell, and she told it very, very well and very concisely. Though I will say, my one critique for the show that keeps it from being a 10 out of 10 for me, well, the reason why it's only a 9 out of 10 for me, is because I do think it needed one more episode. Just exactly one more episode. So the beginning of episode 8, after the Kane origin story, where we see the first generation of circus people, where it's Scratch, Queenie, Kinger, and then a bunch of other people we don't know. So I wanted that sequence to be an entire episode, so we could have gotten a lot more insight into the actual characters of Scratch and Queenie, because I think they're really interesting and had a lot of potential. But as it kind of is in the show, they're mostly plot devices, which is really, really disappointing. Especially with Queenie, in terms of, like, her being so important to Kinger. The fact we don't really know anything about her personally is very sad. And Scratch also just sounds like a fascinating character from the way Kinger talked about him. which makes him sound just like this very interesting, crazy mad scientist. And then you see his avatar, and that's a golden retriever furry, which implies a lot of things. So I'm just like, Scratch sounds like a fascinating guy. I want to know what this dude's deal is. But he literally never even gets a single line, unless you watch the German dub, where he gets one line. So I wanted that whole sequence just to be an entire episode, and then it would end. Its climax would be Scratch abstracting, who was the very first abstraction. So we get to see that how that played out, and then it would end the same way as that sequence does in episode 8, where it's Queenie is abstracted, she's getting put in the basement, and Kinger is alone for several years until Ragatha shows up.
Right. Yeah, I could see that working out. And you're right in that it does feel a little bit truncated. Where, like, there could have been more to it, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm like... Oh, speaking of abstraction, though, one of those things that I did find really fascinating about, like, the finale of Digital Circus is that, like, we were constantly hinted at the fact that Jax was going to abstract at some point. And Goose literally has said over the course of the entirety of the series that somebody is going to abstract. Like, at least one character is going to. So everybody,
beyond
at a certain point, we knew that it was going to be Jax. And I was just waiting for it to be some sort of, like, cinematic, crazy, spontaneous, amazing sequence of events that, like, cause it to happen. And I figured maybe we would actually see abstraction as it happens. You don't get that.
Nope.
Like, you never
all
see
of the abstractions are always off screen.
It always happens off screen, and that is a very interesting choice.
I think that's very deliberate, because what it's a metaphor for several things, but among them is when people give up on their own lives, and when that happens, it is very sudden. It's you don't see it happen. Usually, don't see it happen. You just get the news, and it's sudden and devastating. And I think that
you usually end up showing up
always being off screen is meant to reflect that.
Yeah, you usually end up showing up after the fact, and, like, you don't really. Maybe there are hints here or there, but you never, like. I mean, very rarely does it end up happening, like, with somebody within the exact same sphere or the exact same.
Yeah.
One of the I can't remember which episode. Jax lays down, and then you go through his whole dream sequence, which is all psychedelic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Until a knock on his door interrupts him. There's like 2 or 3 frames where you see Jax laying in the bed, and he's all psychedelic color.
Yep.
Yeah, the eyes turn into the eyes of the abstracted. So the abstracted characters have, like, those colorful eyes, and so the Jack's eyes looked like that for a couple of seconds. Because that was basically a moment. That was sort of like the implication there was that was like a pre-abstraction. That was, like, kind of where it starts, and it's possible that if that hadn't been if that was not interrupted, Jax might have abstracted right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from there, it was really obvious that it would happen eventually. Pretty much, yeah. Oh, another thing that I thought about. It's interesting that both the abstractions and Kinger have the exact same affliction with light nulling their senses of, like, logic and reason.
I do think that makes sense, because if the abstractions are people that have lost all sense of logic and reason and humanity, so they no longer can, like, and same with Kinger. He's been in the circus so long, it's kind of started to mess with his mind and affect his, mental state and his regular sanity. But darkness, helps in both cases, because they're basically the same affliction. Kinger just didn't abstract.
He coped with it. What's the word? There's a word for it. Split personality.
Not exactly.
I don't know about that.
Isn't the right word. It's where your mind literally splits off a segment of itself.
You mean DID? Or systems?
Nah, I wouldn't say that's not what Kinger has. He just kind of doesn't have a very good grasp on everything that they're going on. Like
It's
it's more like dementia, honestly. Like I've heard when Kinger is not in the darkness and and lucid, it's kind of like dementia, which was that kind of makes sense, especially since he's not that old, but he's the oldest out of the cast. So I think that's kind
guess.
of what it
Well,
was trying to getting at.
considering
Was
that, like,
probably getting at.
He's a brain scan and he's currently being put through torture. So, given that, I can kind of see how that might expedite a few things. And so with that logic and that idea, well, okay, I was going somewhere with that, but now I've lost it. Brain nowhere.
Gabbo, I think the idea is pretty much from the time he puts the bucket on in episode 8, he never takes it off for the rest of the time. He keeps it over one eye, so he's got some darkness to kind of keep him stabilized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where was I going with that? I don't remember. Shoot. There's a lot to think about with Digital Circus, I swear to God.
Yeah, there is. That's
Hmm.
what's so great about it.
Yes.
Even with the I still think it's still gonna end up having a very dedicated fandom even after now with the show even now that it's over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
now
was,
that everything's
I was
over
mentioning
and
it.
we can overanalyze the show, we can write our fan fictions and AUs and AUs of AUs and AUs.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And anything else.
Even I wrote
was
AUs.
the
speaking.
show.
I was speaking to Mapley not too long ago about it, and I mentioned that, like, we're gonna be spending the next 10 years dissecting this entire freaking show, and, like, piecing every single, like, thread together piece by piece by piece, and, like, figuring things out.
I mean,
And we're gonna
I
be
have
finding stuff like 10 years from now. We're gonna be like, hold up, that's why they did this. That's why they chose that shade of gray. That kind of thing.
I like the post that Lizzie made. So one of the very first pieces of merchandise for the show was a Jax t-shirt that's just they're just smugly smiling and text behind them that says "You go girl," and was like, that's very random. And
no, it's not.
That seems so random, and it was called Iconic Quote. So the joke was like, it's not a real quote, it's just some smug thing with Jax's face. So that's what we figured it was, but it was still very random. And then Lizzie, I think it was on Saturday or Friday or Saturday after the premiere, after the YouTube premiere of the finale, she retweets that and says, "Oh, I get it now."
Right.
Because Jax was a closeted trans femme the whole time.
Well, another thing that people pointed out, and this one is freaking hilarious. Literally in the first episode, there's that sequence where they're walking up the escalator, and Jax goes, "Ladies first." Oh, why did I say that? And then pushes Gangle and walks up. Yeah, you're just like, hold up,
hold on,
wait.
Let the mask slip there for a little bit.
Well, no, it's weird because he said ladies first and was gonna let Gangle walk up, and then went, no, Gangle, no, walk up first. I walk up first, and he's just been like, so you're a lady.
Yeah.
Big thought.
And I did talk to Michael Kovac about that, and apparently the cast was starting to get in on it. Around episode 5. Apparently they were doing a table read for episode 5, and a couple of them just turned to Goose and were like, "Goose, is Jax trans?" And Goose just smiles and's like, "It's up to interpretation." And didn't kind of reveal all of the details until a little bit later. So
totally. I think there was one point where there's that entire sequence of Jax and Pomni yelling back and forth and arguing during the gun episode, where Jax likens himself or jokes about the fact that Pomni sees himself as this
it's like I'm you. Oh, you just think I'm some little chicken fetus in an egg that you need to crack, huh? And it's like
maybe.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was the moment in the episode 5 table read where people were looking over at Goose like, I think we know what you're doing here.
Yeah. And like in hindsight, like I said, there are so many things that you look back and you're like, hold on, that was an important plot point and you didn't even know.
Yeah, the maid dress thing was probably also one of them too. Though that one's a little bit more like, oh,
The maid
is
dress
he
is
just
so
like,
fucking on the
toxic?
nose.
Is
Yeah.
he just have toxic masculinity and is just emasculated by having to wear something girly, or is there something more to it?
Right.
And
I think somebody mentioned that Ragatha said, like, I've never seen you this angry about something.
this angry. No, Zubul said, I've never seen you this upset about anything.
Yeah, it was Zubul. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. What was another thing?
Yeah.
There was something else that I also remember. I've seen a lot of people talking about this on social media, and like, Gooseworks has like all reason to be annoyed by this, but for a long time, Goose has been talking about how she's just really annoyed that you could lay something out clear as day, or you could have like the most obvious freaking hints put directly in front of your face, and yet there are still people that are just gonna be like, I don't know, it seems a little too vague. No, I don't think. I think you're reading a little bit too much into it. I don't think it's actually important. And then then Goose literally posts the thing just being like, haha, Jax is trans, confirmed. And everyone is still like, but are they? Yes! The answer is yes!
Well, here's the thing: is that's what Goose was trying to imply. She basically admits, I was trying to have it be subtle, but I'm not very good at being subtle. So here, I kind of just have to say it.
As a token idiot, I didn't get it for a while.
I was kind of getting a different reading from it. So my takeaway was, I figured it was like the way that it was portrayed because it was meant to have different interpretations. Be like, yeah, you could read a bunch of different things into this and relate a bunch of different things to it. There's maybe not one specific thing it's kind of trying to connect to. Part of it comes from Goose's experience and identity as a trans woman, but like that's just part of it. And that was specifically what she was going for, but she is open to like other people kind of having different readings of it, because even she said like, yeah, any pronouns are fine for Jax, because they're kind of just still figuring themselves out too.
I like I'm trying to remember what specific things about Jax, like what specifically rang to me as I watched the show, and like majorly, obviously, like the whole being jokey and cartoony was like a cover-up. That was obvious since day one. It's so obvious. You're just like, you aren't really that. You're just putting that on because you don't want to be open and like honest with people. Like you're afraid of vulnerability, and you don't want to like express genuine, deep philosophical things about yourself or other things around you. It's very clear, very obvious. But like, as more of these other little elements started popping up and people started connecting the dots, I'm like, oh no, there's an egg situation happening here. Okay, I see. Even somebody mentioned, thanks for the can, Abby. Even somebody mentioned that, like, Jax brought up the fact that he had one particular fight with his mom once where he let slip some information, he said some things that he regrets saying, and then she just laughed in his face. And a lot of people are saying, like, was that the moment when he came out?
Yeah, that was, so I took that as, like, it could be that, but it could have been, any kind of personal thing that was on their mind and wanted to share. And because, like, I've tried to share a lot of things with my family, to personal things, to hoping they would understand, both gender identity related and not. And they've had similar reactions. So I felt very much for Jax there in a number of ways. So I was like, yeah, it could have been like being like, hey, so I kind of feel weird about my gender sometimes. Sometimes I don't really feel like, oh boy, I feel a little bit more feminine, and I kind of want to explore that. And yeah, and then his mom was just like, might have just completely rejected it the same way my parents reject me being the same way, but masculine, but on the opposite spectrum with being transmasculine. And or it could have been like I've told my family some other personal stuff hoping they would understand, and they've similarly like been like, no, your feelings are stupid and wrong, and it's a very devastating thing.
Yeah, because
Can
other
I be
people
honest
know what's
with you?
going on in your
I didn't
noggin.
even suspect a thing until this was mentioned in this conversation.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, yeah,
went
I
completely
guess
over my
it just
head.
kind of goes to show, like, it's not as obvious. If you're not within the sphere and if you can't really relate to it, I can absolutely see how somebody might completely miss it. For example, like I mentioned, I didn't really 100% get it until, like, you know, people started pointing out those signs. And then I was like, no, you're right. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, Gabo,
And that's
the
'cause for me,
fragile masculinity thing,
like, I'm
that
an
does hide it
ally
very
for
well.
I'm an ally for the LGBTQ plus stuff. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I feel like incredibly comfortable in my skin and being able to identify as a guy. I've never really had any major dysphoria problems involved with that, and I'm comfortable with myself. And, like, you know, it's hard to be able to make those connections when you have had that personal experience.
Yeah, Gabo and Sun God. So it makes me so on one hand, I'm glad that Luce get to take from her experiences and express that in the story. But I did see some people who were feeling like, oh, now that just you went out and confirmed, yeah, that Jax was a closet trans femme, that means you keep, if you were somebody who were like, maybe you were a cis guy who related and connected with Jax as being part of like having maybe previously had that sort of toxic masculine attitude, and you grew out of it and you feel like, oh, that was me at one point, and I kind of connected to like, oh, at one point I was a jerk and I had that toxic masculinity, but it's something that I've learned and grown from, but it's still something I can relate to with Jax. And some people were like upset that because it means like, well, just because someone is, you know, they were like, just because someone is just, you know, is, you know, is, you know, not secure and masculine doesn't mean they're trans. And it's like, here's the thing. Just because that's Goose's experience and she projected that onto Jax, that doesn't mean it's not still a universal experience. It's still a thing that a lot of people go through no matter what their gender identity is.
Well,
and I don't think the fact that Jax is trans should mean that you shouldn't be able to connect with that.
Well, my
Because
interpretation
it's not
to what they're saying,
something
like,
exclusive.
oh, well,
it's not a trans exclusive struggle.
Like, you say like, and you know, if there are people out there that like complain about the trans angle and they're just like, why, just because I had some moments where I had some like toxic masculinity problems and I got over it, that doesn't mean I'm not trans. My response to that, okay, actually, that doesn't mean that I'm trans. My response to that is correct. Next question. You're right. Yeah, that it doesn't mean that you're trans. Yes,
that's not what Goose is trying to say.
That's the correct thing. You can have toxic masculinity problems where, you know, you feel like you need to be more of a man, have more muscle, be a certain way, but then later on realize that those things aren't making you happy and you're just happier with just being a guy or a dude or just being yourself. Like, that's something that anybody could go through. Same thing with like somebody who is on the other side of the sphere and being like, no, you're not girly pop enough. You need to, like, you know, you need to enjoy shoes and fashion and makeup and all of these things, only for you to realize, you know what, I don't like any of these things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are trans masculine. It just kind of means that, like, oh, maybe I don't want to be girly pop all the time for everything. Maybe that's not me. And that's fine. That's beautiful. Be you.
Yeah, another way you can definitely interpret the May dress scene is Jax might have this, like, I think was like, deep down they do want to be more feminine, but they don't necessarily want to be that feminine, so they kind of feel like pulled between two extremes. It's no like then that's part of the reason why they're struggling to figure themselves out, because it's like, am I really femme if I don't like wearing this kind of stuff? But if I don't like wearing this kind of stuff, that must mean I'm masculine, right? So there's kind of this, like, society has kind of puts these very black and white ideas on us, and it can be hard to unlearn that and learn that, life and feelings and these kind of ways that we express ourselves are a lot more nuanced than that.
Well, in general, one of
I
the
thought it was
things
just
that
a funny happenstance.
Hello? What was that?
I just thought it was a funny happenstance.
I mean, for some series, it can be. Haha, he's in a maid outfit. It's funny. So for, I was gonna say, lost my train of thought. What was I was gonna say? It was, we were discussing, like, being pulled between two extremes. Okay, I think I got it. What's funny is that, like, as human beings, we kind of are trained, like, at birth to recognize things in, like, black and white, and that there's just kind of something that inherently we do when we're younger. It's like we look at certain things as being really good, we look at things as being really bad, and I think as you get older and as you mature, you start to be able to see all of, like, the different shades of gray that exist between those two, and you're able to discern the fact that there's some things that are not, like, inherently good or inherently bad. Like, there is no specific right or wrong. Like, it's all a matter of, like, your own personal perception and what you personally choose for yourself, and possibly for other people around you, but mostly for yourself.
Good and evil is subjective.
Right? Dude, somebody can be super ridiculously, like, uber evil and yet totally feel they're in the right. That can be done. Heck, I think that's one thing I like about Amazing Digital Circus, is that it does keep a hell of a lot of things really in the gray area. Like, for the longest time, like, there are a lot of people that were just being like, Jax is evil. No, he's just an incredible asshole that was in a really unfortunate circumstance. And, like, that sits in a gray area. And, Kane's trying to kill all of these people and destroy, and destroy their minds and stuff like that. No, he's a kid with a bunch of building blocks and he doesn't understand what he's dealing, what he's playing around with. Like,
exactly. Also,
there's
yeah,
a lot of gray area.
Jax is not evil. He's just an asshole.
Exactly.
And
yeah, right.
here's the thing, and I think about assholes is that they're still people, and they have a lot and they're typically assholes because they have a lot of their own issues. It doesn't excuse it, but it's then easy to understand, why they're like that, and it makes you wish they could be better people.
Yep.
And
it's one of those reasons why at the end of episode 9, I was really crossing my fingers and hoping that maybe things would turn out better. Maybe there would be more of, like, a positive thing where Jax could have been saved. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And given what we know about abstraction and the fact that, like, extraction's just one of those things that you don't come back from, much like if you took your own life or something like that. Again, serious subject, but applicable here. Some stuff you can't really reverse on. You can't put the brakes and go backwards. And I guess that is kind of an important thing to learn, and it's something that's covered very well here.
Very much. So I was also saying earlier in my own server when we were talking about it, the story between Jax and Ribbit, that is another one of my favorite parts of the finale, because I connect to that story really, really closely, because I have been in that exact situation in Ribbit's position, where I had people that I was really, really close. I thought they were my very close and trusted friends. So I opened up to them and shared a lot of personal things, and they did too. But then after that point, they started to push me away and villainize me and think of me as the bad guy and accuse me of manipulation. Basically, everything that Jax did to Ribbit, because they were no longer, because they were just so uncomfortable and regretted just opening up about them. They just didn't feel like they could truly open up about themselves and regretted it that much, which they shouldn't have.
I've
But
had my
because
own.
of their because of their trauma that they did. So basically everything that Ribbit went through with Jax is something that I went through with people that I once considered to be very close with, and it did end very similarly. Ribbit did not survive in the end. I'm very grateful that I did, but we did kind of reach similar conclusions, and you'd think that would make me hate somebody like Jax, but the thing about that is, even though they did hurt me so horribly and did terrible things, and I wouldn't want to be around them anymore, I understand that they were still people and they were dealing with their own issues and their own troubles and flaws, and it makes, and I more than anything just feel pity for them, and I would like to hope, and I would never wish anything bad on them. I would never want them to go through the fate that Jax had, like the abstraction. That's nothing, nobody deserves that. And it's just, it makes me instead I wish they could get therapy, get help, learn and grow and become better people and not hurt anyone else anymore. That's what I hope for them wherever they are now. So that's
Gabo
a big
asks, "Are you abstracted?"
I'm
my
abstracted.
last abstraction attempt was more than a decade ago, so
Oh, hugs. Ooh,
yeah. But
big hugs.
yeah, thank you. Big hugs to you.
I
But still, that is the thing that
I don't-
happened. It
I-
did leave a big
so-
impact on me. So yeah, that's
I'm really thinking about this. I know for a fact I have absolutely been in the circumstance of I put a lot of my faith and my trust in somebody. I expect that things are going to stay strong between us no matter what. And then things change, things fluctuate, and things drift. And sometimes they drift violently, sometimes they don't. I think, like, I'll be, I'll be sort of like, open about this one. I'll be honest and say that, like, I am very, very hesitant when it comes to opening up about a lot of things about me. I'm a very private kind of individual, and it's not because I don't like other people around me, and it's not because I think that people are out to kill me everywhere I go. It's just kind of one of those things where I have had bad experiences with that in the past that have made me incredibly careful. And like that, I think that is a symptom of some of those major problems and flaws that have happened to me in the past. And I acknowledge them, and I do try to keep them in mind, and I try not to be too much of a closed off person. But
yeah.
given that I've seen episode 9 now, and like seeing the things that Jax ended up going through, and just where their head was at, and what ended up transpiring, and now that the conversation has kind of opened up about that, it has actively made me think about how I project myself, and how I, give myself to other people, and how other people give to me in the exact same way. And it has made me think about whether or not I want to change that, adjust how that goes, like improve myself in that way. In general, I think it's a very positive thing that something like this kind of a show can open up that conversation.
Absolutely. Hey, and that was
make the conversation more approachable and open for more people.
Exactly. And also, similarly, we were just talking about Jackson, the gender stuff. When I was talking to Michael Kovac, he even said to me that he knew some people that after they watched the finale and saw what Jax went through, and they told them, I want to open up and explore gender now, because I don't want to bottle it up and repress it, and have that kind of thing happen to me. So I think that's just so awesome and important, and it's showing people, yeah, this is what you need to do to live a good life, and do what's healthy for yourself mentally.
I can't tell you how many times I've scrolled through my Blue Sky and seen somebody posting about the ending, and specifically Jax, and seeing the phrase, "He's just like me for real." So, yeah,
Oh.
they hit a nerve on that one, I think.
Yeah, Phoenix, I also can relate to Agatha, especially with her mother issues. That's just
Yeah.
like, yep, the girl, I got you, I get you there, I get you
That's
there.
me with my mom. I
Yep.
don't really trust opening up to my mom. I've started opening up to my mom so that my mom can finally learn how to be a more decent human.
Yep, and it's the exact same thing. Like I said, I have tried opening up to my parents and my mom about these things, and just been punched back. not physically, but very much emotionally.
Otherwise, I
And
do have a best friend
that's
I
gone
can
the
vent
point
to
where I
everyone.
just don't really feel like I can. My mom tries to tell me, you can tell me anything, you can talk to me about anything, and that I know for a fact that I really can't, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I think we have the same mom then.
No, Abby, I have talked to a lot of people who've said that to me. Apparently, this is not
Yes.
this is not an uncommon problem.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
So
many.
I've been so much better when it comes to my own emotions, and so I recognize emotions in other people way better. I'm like I've reached like levels of poverty in that regards. So I understand why my mom is the way she is, and which is why I'm trying to change that.
Mm-mm. Well, you can't. Unfortunately, no matter how hard you try, sometimes you just can't change people. We saw Pomni tried to help Jax, but he didn't want the help, and in the end, sometimes you just can't help someone if they can't accept it. So
That's
and
the
it
lucky
sucks.
part with my mom. My mom does want to change.
Well,
That's good.
if that is the case, then that's really good, and she sounds better than my mom, because my mom
Oh,
absolutely
well.
doesn't want to change or thinks that she needs to change. So
But I'm sorry for you.
it's fine.
Am I out of touch?
I'm
No, it's the
get
kids
it.
who are in
Yep. And I'm sorry to hear that, Phoenix. Yeah, whether it's mothers or step parents, stepdads, stepbrothers, it's something a lot of us can connect to, and it just sucks. It just sucks to be in that situation.
I do have a really good book about moms, though, that I could recommend for anyone who has like the emotional absent mother. It's a very good book.
Yeah, throw that over in the Discord and maybe drop a link in the chat.
Yeah, let me fucking
I think
find
you're
it.
clear to leave links. I don't know if I've given you the diamond.
Wait, no, I have a funny idea.
What? What's funny? What's funny?
Wait, one second. Need to find the drawing. There it is.
Yeah, Gabo, that is also the conclusion I've come to talking to people about my issues with my mother. She is just extremely narcissistic.
I'm just gonna
and
share
thinks
it
that
in
she is
image
always
share.
correct and right about everything. So
permission to put that on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me see. What did
Okay.
Happy post?
From the mind of Happy. Here.
Because I was reading that book and I was like, okay, that book really is like Ragatha should read that, but I relate more to Kane, so I was like, ah, yeah, that's from my blobbo.
Oh, poor Kane doesn't even have a mother.
Yeah,
Has
the book
multiple
says
that
any
mother.
parent. The book
called-
says any parental figure works too. It doesn't have to be just the mother. It can also be the father, teachers, and anyone else.
True.
Oh.
He has like
Oh.
the Amazon listing.
Yeah, I thought Kane's parents are Scratch, Queenie, and Kinger.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Just because you came from like someone else doesn't mean that I mean, anyone could be your parent. All right. Anybody. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Man.
Ugh,
If
I'm
you-
so
if you've
sorry,
got a
Phoenix.
father-
That is ableism. That is if people do people with ADHD and autism do often take a much more time to learn from their mistakes and figure out, the right and wrong things to do. It's just sometimes a little harder for us. And if your dad can't understand that and makes you feel like shit about it, fuck him.
Yep.
He should be more patient with you.
Like at the
Especially-
absolute least, I think that might be something that you could kindly bring up to them in conversation, maybe. Like, and mentioning that, hey, these are things that I have problems with. Like, I can't help much about it. I'm doing my best. And I will continue to try and keep doing my best. And I would appreciate if you gave me a little bit of leeway and also supported me in times when I'm struggling. Something like that. You don't have to say it in those words, or or whatever fits your situation. But like,
I'm also sorry about that, Phoenix.
if that, yeah.
At least you do have a father figure in your life.
Gross.
But that
I know
that's
of many
really sad.
people that don't. And for you, I will give you a big fat hug and also tell you that, like, just because there isn't a father figure in your life, that doesn't make you any less of a person. And if anything, like, I mean, I think you can find inspiration through anyone and anything. And if you can find it through somewhere else, then more power to you.
Well, one of my favorite I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite episodes, but one of my favorite messages in Gravity Falls that it shares through is the episode Blendon's Game, which is the episode with Seuss's birthday, where we see that Seuss's dad is completely absent in his life and keeps promising that he will come and see Seuss on his birthday, and he never does because he's a jerk and neglectful. And that has left Seuss very, very sad about his childhood and his birthday. And through the episode and at the end, he realizes that he should being sad. He doesn't have to be so sad about it because he have other, even if his dad wasn't around, he has other people in his life who love him and care about him and do and in ways that his quote unquote real family never did. So those people can be his family and take that role and give him this emotional support that he needs. Like he basically sees the whole thing between Seuss and Stan is because Seuss's dad was never around. Stan really became his father figure instead, and that's really, really sweet.
Yep.
And wonderful, and it shows that you can find, even if your blood family isn't around for you or just doesn't do the things they should be doing as someone who's your family, which is being there for you and supporting you, you can find it in other places,
right?
and it can be just as good, if not better.
Where your blood family isn't there, there's always a found family. I think that's what's really important.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, I know I do. Phoenix, I do. I relate to that whole, like, father being a hard ass because he was raised a very specific way by a very specific set of parents, and that is how he believes it needs to be done, and therefore he puts his kids through that exact same thing. I'm not gonna say that my dad was entirely that, but I will say that that is one of those things that he did, like, try and fight for the entirety of the time that I was growing up as a kid. He slipped into a handful of times situations where he would be like more of a hard ass and more of the, like, not he didn't get to the point of, like, beating the sense into the kid or something, thankfully. But he did, like, strong arm stuff and point things out and make me feel bad about, like, the things that I like. And he basically, like, here's an example. I remember several occasions I would have passions for working on, like, some home movies or videos or something to that degree. You know, basically following a passion that I feel really, really strong about. And let's be fair, what I was making was crap. Okay? I'm not going to pretend that I was making some like Mozart level stuff. Like, no, I was very small bit child, and I wasn't very like cognitive and able to do anything. But it was the like building steps that got me up to where I am right now. And while I was working on these kind of projects, I'll admit there were some times where I would like slack off on my chores, or like I would not actively, like, you know, I don't have ADHD, but like my brain would just sort of like completely skip out and forget about certain stuff. And so my dad would take that very personally when he would notice that, like, oh, stuff isn't properly getting done around here. Things haven't been dusted. Stuff hasn't been vacuumed. The laundry hasn't been taken care of. And so he would like come down on the kids, like on rare occasion, and he would like, you know, be like, shame on you, how dare you. And one of the things that he did for me was he pointed at me, and he's just like, maybe you wouldn't, you know, maybe you would have gotten your chores done if you hadn't been doing all of those videos. And I don't like that. To this day, I really don't appreciate when he did that. Because, you know, it's kind of a dick move to be like, hey, you know that one thing that makes you happy? I'm going to use that against you. That's not okay. He did the same thing once when, like, I was really, really into Castle Crashers on, like, the Xbox Live Arcade back in the day. And that's a game I would still really love to play if, like, people were interested in picking up a copy and hanging out with me on, like, multiplayer.
Yeah, just give me a call.
All right. But I remember, like, me and my brothers were, like, noodling around with it and having fun with, like, local split screen and stuff. And he had another one of his moments where he got really, really pissed off that apparently we had veered off on taking care of chores in a timely fashion. And he berated us, and at one point he said, just like, you know, maybe you would have gotten those chores done if you weren't busy doing those Castle Crasher things. And, you know, I just have to cringe inward on myself just because, like, dude, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Shut the heck up. You know, it felt the same as, like, when a parental figure says Pokemon. Did you get them Pokemon cards? And you're just like, stop talking. Go away. You don't know what we're talking about. Why is everything we've been mentioning just a checklist of things my mom's done at some point in my life? God damn it. We mention it.
Yeah,
I was
gonna just say that. I was gonna say, but that sounds like my mom. And how she feels like, she says, like, oh, I wish you had the kind of passion you do for thing that I like and have is a hobby and that I enjoy, like art or making videos or whatever. Into other yeah, like, I don't know, cleaning the house or whatever.
It's the same like, people who are just like, man, we could be doing all these things like curing cancer and stuff, and meanwhile you're out here doing this silly little, like, you know, it's like, you could be, what do you, it's like, what do you like to do? Do you like parkour? What's with the silly stupid flips? How about this? How about you go and you flip some burgers somewhere and make some money, damn it. You know, it's the same kind of thing. It's just being like, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself, go away. Oh god, yeah. And you know, I complained about all these things. I'm not going to complain about without giving a proper solution. I would have appreciated it if my parents, especially my dad, would have, instead of going about it the way that he did, instead went, hey, I noticed that you're you know, lagging behind on your chores. Is something going on? Is there something that I can help you with? There we go. Just a reminder,
Yeah.
just being like, hey, do you need any help with that? Is there something specific that's bothering you or getting in the way of that?
Yeah, because typically when
these are your responsibilities, and I'd like you to do them, please. Like,
avoiding responsibility is often a sign there's like, you're not in a good place, and it's like if you're avoiding responsibilities, there's a good chance that your brain is just like in a place where it just feels like it needs to be in like a comfort zone more than it should be. Because when you're feeling okay, you feel like more like you could step out of your comfort zone and do the things that normally aren't as easy for you. But if you're feeling really shitty mentally, you just kind of want to stay in the most comfortable place possible as much as possible. And that's why I struggle with a lot of stuff like doing chores and stuff around the house and things like that, is because I'm not in a good situation in my life right now and have not been for many years, and it's just hard. Sometimes it's just hard for me to get up and do anything in the day, whether it's stuff I like.
Oh
or
my
in
god,
this
manners.
place.
That's what me and my bro have been criticizing about recently. Where against her manners, not against her. She takes it as we being against her. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, one thing I didn't really mention is as much as I mentioned that like maturity comes with age over time, that's not always consistent. Sometimes I'm of the opinion and the belief that I feel like adulthood, I mean, technically adulthood is a thing, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that's just like, adulthood is a myth. But, like, I do feel like there's no clear, concise cutoff point when suddenly, bam, you're a responsible human adult. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that, yeah, you could become an adult about. You are technically legally an adult when you reach a certain age. Yeah, you technically are an adult when you get a job and you have a house and a mortgage and all that jazz. But there's also a lot of other things that maybe you haven't matured into, that like haven't been accounted for. And it's kind of like, and so there are quite a few people out there, whether it be in your life or out there in the real world, that maybe like that they might be wearing an adult suit, but maybe they don't have everything figured out yet, including your parents.
Yeah. For me, I think a lot of it also comes from the fact that I haven't just had a lot of opportunity to kind of take the reins in my own life. I did when because I think the best time in my life, and that's why I feel like the best time of my life was when I was in college, where I was living on my own in the dorm and going to classes and doing all of that and just kind of, living the life as a student, and where I felt like I was kind of, the one running my life and making decisions late day to day, and there's nobody there except for like my professors who were just in charge of the classes to kind of tell me what to do. I kind of got to learn and do and figure things out myself, and it was very empowering and just helped me feel more comfortable day to day, that I had the freedom to kind of just do that stuff and figure it out. And if I needed help, and if I struggled and I needed help, I would go and I would get that help. I didn't need to be like, because living at home with my parents now, unfortunately, they just kind of constantly hound me about what to do and tell me what to do when and where, and it's very frustrating because it's just like I would rather just be able to do this stuff on my own than have to do it according to the way and how and why that you want it, because we don't really see eye to eye on some of that. And
that's a shame. It's a gross situation.
And I have struggles, yes, but I will go and I will reach out and get help, and that's always what I did, because I definitely had struggles while I was in school, but I reached out and got help, and as a result, I got the only reason I didn't graduate was because of physical health. It was 3 reasons. It was physical health reasons, not mental health. It was physical. It was physical health issues that I had, COVID, and the cost, because I went to a school that was rather expensive. That was very expensive, and I did have trouble paying for it kind of towards the end of as I was getting close to graduating.
Yeah. Phoenix is like, yeah, not everyone's supposed to know everything as soon as they reach adulthood. Adults are still learning too. No one knows everything about everything. Straight up.
Please
and
tell
it's
me.
literally impossible to do so. Like this, and also the second that you give up on learning is the second you give up on living. Keep that in mind. Like, keep yourself open up to like brand new experiences, and I guarantee you're gonna feel a lot more like, energized and happy than somebody that's just shut their brain off and decided that they're done.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like a lot of where my mom's flaws and narcissism comes from. I feel like she thinks it's just like, well, I've been through everything, that could possibly matter. So now I feel like I know everything and don't need to be open to new things or anything like that because I've already have all this experience. What does any more matter? And it's like, I don't care how old you are, especially since she is older. She's in her 70s. So
I mean, it's not like
just,
time
it's like, I don't care how old you are. I don't
moving line.
Yeah, I don't
Or
care how
anything
old
like
you are.
that.
Even if I don't care how old you are and how much experiences you have, you don't stop having experiences literally until the moment that you die. So you need to, I wish you would continue to be open-minded and learn and, be empathetic towards people, especially those who are different from you.
Well,
and have
as we
different,
mentioned
and
a
feel
little bit
differently from
earlier
way
in the
you do.
conversation, you can't tell somebody to change.
Yeah.
That makes me sad. But
Only if
Yeah.
they're
It's
willing
a
to
reality.
change.
Yeah, they have to be willing, and sadly, my mom is not. So, I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on these things, sadly. And all I can really do is kind of just try to keep working on myself and my own life, and eventually be able to support myself. And we're
Heck yeah.
honestly we're probably on. I think the two of us are on just like a much better level if I'm not living with her and I'm kind of off doing my own thing. Like again, like I was in college, we got along much better when I was in college. And as long as I'm just like off in my life doing my own thing and she doesn't have to, support me or anything like that, and I can just, take care of myself, I think she's more willing to kind of like, let me live my own life.
Yeah.
Not in this economy.
This economy.
That's the problem I'm currently facing.
Oh man, the economy.
Cannot get a freaking job because current events.
Hey,
Yeah.
can we make things cheaper, please, and also stop sending chips to data centers? Thank you. Appreciate it. Man, okay, we've been going on like, rants and rambles and serious discussions. Let's move to something else. What
Yeah,
are you
maybe we
guys'
need
plans
just some lighter.
coming up for this week? You got anything fun going on?
No, just the last week of So some good news on the Shadowverse preservation front. They uploaded video recordings of the entire first game story mode to YouTube officially. It is on the official YouTube channel, and the recordings are. So it's kind of both good and bad because on the one hand, that I'm super glad they did it officially, and the recordings are very nice. And they're better than my own. Unfortunately, they
but the
don't.
problem-
They still don't include the boss fights, which I feel like we should also preserve.
Well,
They're
here's
not
the other
100%
issue.
necessary, but I still think we
We're-
should preserve them.
Well, the problem is, we're talking about a video game here, and like,
Yeah.
you can take a video game cutscene and send that off to the YouTube and just be like, there you go, there's the experience, see ya. But like, if that were true, then that would mean, Let's Players on the internet that like literally take a video game and then play it from start to finish, and then like, and basically a bunch of people live vicariously through them. Do you think they would be able to get away with that if playing a video game was the exact same thing as watching a movie?
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, all those Let's Players that like they play a video game and they play the entire thing from like start to finish, and they have a bunch of people that live through them vicariously and just watch their content. Do you think that those Let's Players would get away with what they're doing if playing a video game was the exact same experience as watching a movie?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Nope.
It's
And
not a. It's
that's
not the
kind of where
completely
my
same
problem
experience.
is with it, is that you can archive the footage and you can upload it to the Shadowverse official YouTube, but it's not going to be the same because you didn't experience that game footage in-game in engine. So
Yeah, you didn't. I mean, it is a visual novel, so there isn't a huge difference in the story itself. But the thing is the boss battles, which I do feel like. So the reason why my uploads, so this is the other thing where it's sort of like, wow, thanks Cygames for doing the thing that I already did, because I had already done that several years prior. Is just upload the whole story mode without any boss fights to YouTube. Granted, the official recordings are better, but
oh yeah.
still, it was a little bit like, your preservation is just stealing my content. Okay, thanks. But yeah, no.
It was technically
yeah,
theirs.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, it was, it was just a little bit of a, oh, yeah, okay, moment. But no,
I'm
yeah, it's
happy they
true.
did
It's
it.
true. Yeah. But yeah,
funny
no,
enough, I found out the other day that apparently there's like an entire oh, excuse me. Where's my water? Do I have any water? I'm out of water. Damn it. It'll clear. Anyway, I found out the other day that apparently there's like an entire subset of like people online who have been attempting to like preserve a bunch of old footage of like old like children's or cartoon stuff. And like, specific like children's television specials and stuff. And the reason they're doing it, like this stuff is like fully and completely available on like YouTube for anybody to watch if you wanted to. But the problem is that the uploads that are official through like official sources have added like, kind of unnecessary extra watermarks on top of all of the footage, as well as they have individually sliced them all up into like their own like separate sequences, so that you don't get the actual experience of how it looked when it originally aired.
You're
So,
cutting out a bit.
Son of a... Is the internet being stupid? Here, I'm
I don't know.
gonna disconnect and reconnect to the Discord and see if that fixes it.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. I'm alone. Hey, you're all back.
Hello again.
Hooray.
Yay! The voices in my head are back. Anyway,
You're a
Nah,
good
but yeah.
person.
Yeah. So.
yeah, how much of that did you get?
They were splitting them up in a way that was just like, it wasn't like true to the original experience, basically.
Yeah. So like, there are some people that are like archiving the actual shows in the highest quality that they possibly have, which isn't as high as the original creators have with their beta tapes and stuff, but like, it's better than nothing to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I guess.
In my case, the reason why for my uploads before there were official ones, the reason why I never uploaded the boss fights in them was because that is the part of the game that is gameplay, while as the rest is just to click through and listen and read the visual novel. So I wanted for people to have hey, you can watch the story without the battles on YouTube, but I would like you to go and download the game if you want the full experience. I want you to go and download the game and play it for yourself and play those boss fights, and then that will add to the experience and give you and it'll be the way the developers intended. So well,
why do you think
that
I
was
do
one of
Let's
the
Plays and streams the way that I do? Where
exactly.
if I end up covering the entirety of the game, well, I covered it at a complete snail's pace, and on top of that, there was a goober sitting on the screen at all times yelling about something. Hyperfixating about a random computer thing that nobody cares about. And I always tell people, hey, I like this game. I like this franchise. You should go play it. And I let people know. It's just like, playing a video game is not the same as watching somebody play a video game.
No, exactly. That's exactly
so
why.
I kind of hope that
Let's
with the
Players...
Shadowverse restoration project that you got going on, I'm hoping that there's like some significant gameplay type of stuff available.
Yeah, so two good things on that front. Even though the official uploads do not include the boss fights, a friend of mine says he's going to go and record them this week. I was going to do that if nobody else did, but now a friend of mine is volunteering to do it, and I'm like, thank you for that, because I've been very busy trying to do other preservation-related things that I didn't get the chance to do it until literally the final week. So I appreciate now I'm getting help with that. So he's going to go and record all of that. So even though it won't be the same as playing the boss fights for yourself, it'll still be, an easy way to go and see them if you want to go and see them without having to do the alternative thing, which is we do have a private server in the works for the original game that is going to be like community funded and preserved. So I just paid for the server hosting for it for the next 4 months. So it should be available to go in the next couple of weeks. And then once it is, you should still be able to play the original game on our custom server. Including
I hope that goes well, and I hope Cygames doesn't be assholes.
Yeah, the good thing is, so one of the reasons I was inspired to do it and felt motivated to do it is because there is another game that Cygames made several years ago called Dragalia Lost, which was published by Nintendo. And it was a great game, but Nintendo unfortunately very much screwed it over, and it did end of service a couple of years ago. But the game did have a very dedicated fan base, and thankfully that fan base managed to do not one but 2 private server projects. So it is still possible to play Dragalia Lost, and you can do so on either of their private servers. That is being made and maintained entirely by the community and fans of that game. And thankfully, Cygames has done absolutely nothing to interfere with that. They've just allowed that to be a thing. And which means like, okay, if we do the same thing for Shadowverse Classic, hopefully it'll be the same.
You said that Nintendo was a part of Dragalia Lost?
Yep.
So my thoughts on that are, if there was a partnership between Nintendo and Cygames for this game, which is Dragalia Lost, my thoughts are that a game like that, to end up getting a revitalization of any kind, is probably going to be a legal nightmare. Because, both the parties would basically have to consent to, like, reopening up that door and setting something up, like, permanently. And so, for Cygames, they might look at that and look at the possibility of working with Nintendo again and go, let's not do that. Waste of our time. Screw that. Just let them do what they do. Whereas for something like Shadowverse, if Shadowverse was like exclusively and specifically made by Cygames and nobody else, I do worry that maybe they'll look at that as an opportunity to say, hey, we have Shadowverse 2 on our hands. These people have got this alternative that's taking eyes away from us. We want them to stop. And considering it is their own IP and they have a lot more control over something like that, I do feel like maybe they would jump on your project faster than they would for something like Dragalia Lost.
Maybe, I don't know. Here's the other thing about it is, it would matter. I think it would matter. The thing is, they don't have a whole lot of. The thing about the private server, it's not going to have a lot of people. It's going to be it's going to be some people. So here's the thing. Also, thing is, I'm not going to spread it to Japan because Japan has very. So Japan is where 90% of the players are, and Japan has weird feelings about game preservation and private servers and things like that. So this is mostly going to be for the benefit of the non-Japanese fan base, of which is very small. Just to have it be preserved in some form. In a way that's playable. So I think that's such a small market that Cygames wouldn't really care about that. It's because it's not really intended for the Japanese player base.
Yeah, I think they'd have to be pretty.
I wouldn't try and actively stop
a
Japanese person from playing on the private server. But the thing about Japanese, like I said, Japan's kind of like not very into that stuff. unfortunately kind of buy into the corporate propaganda is that once a game is dead, it should stay dead, and the game preservation isn't as important as it should be. That's why Nintendo hates emulation. So
Absolutely bullshit to that.
which is bullshit. Yeah. So I like to hope that Cygames be like, well, this is just a very, very small niche of fans who are outside our main demographic, who just want to, keep kind of put their own time and money into keeping the original alive because they like it. And that's probably
It's not like you're
cut
taking
into
a current product they've got going on and like
yeah.
releasing the source code and being like, "Hey guys, have a party." No, you're literally taking their scraps and being like, "Hey, we like this. Let's shine it up and put it on display."
Yeah, we dumpster
It's like-
dived into their garbage and then just made a
It's
little
like if
shrine to the
somebody
garbage.
took like it's like if somebody took like a plasma screen television and just like chucked it in like the back of in a dumpster somewhere, and somebody went, "Hold up, that'd look really good on my in my mantle." It's just like, that's not gonna hurt anybody. They weren't gonna use it. It's a working TV. Don't go suing me just because I decided I wanted it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Your trash,
and
my
the
treasure.
thing about that is there are people that like Shadowverse Classic and would like to still play it on the private server, but also they like Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, the sequel, and are playing that too. So it's like, there's no harm in them having both and enjoying both if they want to enjoy both.
Shit, two
and then
cakes.
there's people who don't like Worlds Beyond and only like Shadowverse Classic and want to continue playing Classic because they like it, and by continuing to play Classic, they will be like, well, maybe I can still continue to support the Shadowverse franchise in other ways, even though I don't like Worlds Beyond. Like, for example, the physical trading card game Shadowverse Evolve. There are people I know that play that and like that a lot. So maybe they can if they continue to play old Shadowverse Classic on our server and play Shadowverse Evolve, that's still Cygames is still getting something out of that. And also maybe they'll buy some, and if Cygames reaches like more just general Shadowverse merchandise, fans who don't like Worlds Beyond but still just like the franchise in general might be interested in that. So I don't see any harm in keeping around a thing for the franchise that people like, even if they might not like another thing. Because it still keeps them interested in the franchise in general.
It reminds me of the dark ages of Sonic the Hedgehog, when like it was going through a really bad place of the, Sega themselves making like games that were really commercially and like and critically panned. And meanwhile, a bunch of people that still really, really loved Sonic the Hedgehog were like, "I'm gonna make my own fan game." And rather than coming down on them with a steel boot, Sega was like, "Yeah, whatever, you do your thing. Also, who's this one guy that's making this really cool version of the old version of Sonic the Hedgehog? Hey, could you go and port Sonic CD on mobile? Wow, you did a really good job on that. You want to make a full game?" I appreciate when a company will do something like that.
I love Sega for that. Sega truly does what Nintendo don't.
I love Sega up to a certain point.
That true. Like, no, obviously no company is... No company is good and no company is your friend, but some companies are worse than others.
Right. Like, okay, so their Denuvo is shit. The studio involved with making the Yakuza games have really jumped the shark on what they're allowed to do. Jesus Christ. Oh, hey, Phoenix says that I just drew Trans Jackson Magma. Trans Rice, hold on, we have to look at this.
Yeah, Trans Rights Pride Month.
Whack! There she is! Look at it! Wayne's White.
Aww.
That's adorable.
Isn't
very
she
unsure of
lovely? Isn't she wonderful?
Yeah, the fact that that's the song they decided to frickin' use. Wow, how much more obvious can you get? Nope, not trans, never was, couldn't be a thing.
Yeah, also Jaxine is cute. My SO said that too when we were talking about the finale earlier. I said, Jaxine, that's so cute.
Yeah, Jaxine. Alright, let's see. Man, so And another thing that I've related to restoration projects and things like that, I have been liking the influx of the amount of projects out there that are attempting to try and take old video games and not just emulate them, but port them to PC. There's a ton of them that are currently doing that right now, including. So I talked about Nuts and Bolts, and good news, that's been updated to the point where the game runs pretty much 100% as it originally released.
Nice.
And you can finish it from start to finish. I have. I'm obsessed.
Awesome.
And then Pierce was talking about the other day that there's some other games that are also getting the same treatment from people, including the people that made the Ocarina of Time remake. They're doing another game. What was that? It was a while ago that he posted it. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. There's another Banjo-Kazooie PC port. That's what it was. And it's made by the same people that do the whole Ocarina of Time remake thing. But the difference in this one is that it has a randomizer in it. That sounds insane. A collectathon randomizer? Christ.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's multiplayer, which how the fuck does that work? And ROM hack support. Day one. Freaking awesome.
That is awesome.
Gabo says, what Sonic was going through is what Plants vs. Zombies is currently suffering. Oh, well, yeah, EA is 5 billion times worse than Sega, for sure. Good lord.
I should go to bed now, guys. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, it is
Probably should.
crazy late for you,
You're in
Hobby.
Germany and you
It's
should
not.
sleep.
It's definitely not.
Well, thanks for... Oh, no! Chat.
Go to sleep, you
I was
little
just gonna
Deutschland
say,
doof.
Thanks for coming in and talking shop with TADC. That was... Oh, still in stream. Thank you! Have a very good night. Let's see. Yeah, the modding community is what keeps the Plants vs. Zombies fandom alive. Okay. Very interesting.
Bye, Hobby. Go to sleep, you little Deutschland doofus.
Nap. Take nap. Man, yeah. I mean, I've kind of I've resigned to the fact that we will never get a new Banjo game ever again. It's
Probably not.
It's just not gonna happen. And with the fact that Microsoft is currently doing so many different layoffs right now,
Microsoft is fucking gutting themselves, man. Even Double
it's
Fine
like
is.
watch-
I'm
it
worried
literally
for.
is
I'm
like
worried
watching
for Double,
somebody-
I'm really worried for Double Fine. That's the main studio.
Yes.
I'm just are they gonna
Yes.
be okay? Because they're basically
I really hope
Double
somebody pulls
Fine
them
and
out
also
of the,
Obsidian.
Mhm. Well, Double Fine specifically because they actually genuinely have some really, really cool IP behind them, and it would be nice if that were allowed to flourish and keep going, please.
Yeah. I'm worried for Obsidian and Double Fine are the two I really am scared for because I really wanted to buy Outer Worlds 2, but it was very expensive and I did not really have the time or money to play it, so I did not buy it. I'm like, okay, I'll get it on plate at some point because I really like the first one, but I just it was expensive and I just not a good time right now. It's just one of those things I'll get to it eventually. So I hope that studio will be okay because I do really like them. I want them to make a new Fallout game, which I don't know if that will ever happen. It could if Microsoft keeps them around, but because they also own Fallout now, but we'll have to see. And I'm worried for Double Fine because Microsoft bought them quite a while ago, and I like what they do. I don't like all of their games, but I do just like what they do in general. So I would like them to be okay.
The part of this that really pisses me off is that, and this has been pointed out by a few people over on Blue Sky. Literally, a year ago, Microsoft put like $80 billion into AI. So,
You cut out again a
Where's-
bit.
oh, God fucking, my internet's fine.
He's not
Son of a
cutting out
bitch.
for me.
Oh, okay. Maybe you should try and disconnect Cecil.
Maybe I should. Give me a sec.
Yeah, because, that sounds like that's a very specific internet problem.
Phenomena. Do.
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
All right. I was just
Uh,
saying, Microsoft, like about a year ago, invested like $80 billion into their AI initiative. Thank you for the floor. Thank you,
Ugh.
Phoenix.
Also, Gabo, my pronouns are they, he.
Yep.
Yeah, the
So, like, anyway,
she,
so
her is the
it's
only
just kind of
pronouns I don't
annoying.
use.
Mhm.
I use all the others except that one.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No worries, Gabo. He's cool. Just keep a mental note of it.
I
Or at
know
least
I hate my
hope
dom.
I hope it's fine. I kind of spoke on your behalf there.
No, it's fine. I'm just like, ugh, I hate my dumb girly voice.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. It's kind of
Uh,
annoying that there really isn't a whole lot of options for like permanently changing your voice and like vocal cords.
I mean,
Like, you can do-
there is voice training, but that is
Yeah,
it takes
but
a lot of
that-
work and is expensive if you get a voice coach. I have a trans femme friend who has been doing voice training with a voice coach to feminize their voice, and it's expensive and it
Mhm.
takes a lot of practice from them, and it's just like I can't
Right.
really do either at the moment, so
There's some
I just
folks
have to
that
live
are
with it.
just sort of gifted with the ability to flip their voice and make it sound more feminine or masculine. And for those people, I call them demons. Like, I want that ability. Dude, I'm trying to be a voice actor here. You think I don't want that? Just walk into actually, God. Remember that one old viral video a long time ago of the dude that could sing both the parts for A Whole New World?
Oh yeah, that's
Remember that?
that's a result of like really intense voice training and vocal coaching.
It's insanity, man.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a talent that some people can develop, and that's really cool. And it's really okay, Gabo. Just try to be more mindful of it next time, and remember that's the remember the pronouns that I actually use. As long as you're trying and making an effort, I'm cool with it. As long as you're not, the only time
Yeah.
I'm not cool with it is if you're deliberately not using what I prefer. So,
right. If you were informed about it and then afterwards, like for weeks, just being like, "Yeah, she was in the stream." It's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now you're just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Just
make an effort, and we're cool.
Mhm.
And also, Phoenix,
so-
no worries about those character designs. Those are really cool. I don't know a whole much about DC Universe aside from like I've seen a couple of Batman movies, and that's pretty much it. But I do like the designs; they're cool. Now that you mentioned they were DC based, I do see the one that's like based on Scarecrow, and the one girl that's based on Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, which is really cool. These are really neat.
Which designs
I love
where?
your character designs.
Which designs
Yeah, I
were?
love your designs no matter what they're for. Please never not post your art. I love seeing your art.
Yes. Your art is adorable and awesome, and I like it. Where is this art? I kind of want to see it.
It's in my server in the Starlight Cult bit, which you need to join because we have
Why
watch
the
parties
hell am
and
I
stuff
not
too.
there? Why was I not invited?
I'm sure I invited you multiple times, and you're just like,
Why was I
not now.
informed? Can't change my voice, cracks too much. Used to be able to do a pretty good impression of Scratch from Adventures of Sonic. Voices change, man. They adjust. I don't know. Send me an invite to that. I'll join up on that at some point.
Thank you.
Oh. There it is. Boop button. There we are. Dogma, right?
Yeah.
I'll fill that out in a little while.
It's literally just do the reaction to say you read the rules and you get in.
Well,
It's just-
unlike
it's just-
some people, I do like reading the rules for places. Even though I'm fairly certain I won't do something to break the rules, like, it's still nice to get a good idea. Like, it gives you a good overall idea of, like, the space you're walking into and what you are and are not allowed to do. So.
Yep.
Anyway. Oh, okay.
Thank you for that.
I'm not going to complain about that whole, like, the thing that I was going to complain about, because it's a downer. What's a positive thing? What's something cool that's going on here? I know that pretty soon here we are going to be we just finished Sonic the Hedgehog, and pretty soon in my server we're going to be watching Shrek.
I have not
'Cause-
seen the original Shrek in several years, so I'm curious to watch it again. Though I am one of those people who are like, Shrek 2 is the best one. And when we watch that,
No,
I
I
will be
agree.
very excited to watch that, because I have actually seen Shrek 2 many, many times, many more than the first one, and
Yep.
because I think it's the best one and it's great, and I would like to watch it again when we get to that.
I agree with you. I have not seen Shrek 3, but I have seen Shrek 1
3 is
and
really
2.
bad. Just skip it. 3 is bad. Just skip
What's
it.
funny is that a lot of people say that Shrek 3 is where it should have ended. And then they say Shrek
No.
4 was a nightmare.
It's the general consensus that I know is 3 is the only objectively really bad one. 3 is really bad. 4 is people are kind of mixed on, but it's
Okay.
more positive than negative. People are 4 was the actual intended ending, and I think it's a pretty good one. I think the movie itself is kind of fine. I think it's similar to the first one, I would say, where I think it's pretty
Okay.
good. But it's not, super great. I just think it's kind of fine. It's just 3 is that 2 is the best one by far. And then 1 and 4 are good, and then 3 is bad. So
I'm not going to argue with that with you. Like, I agree. I've seen Shrek 1. Shrek 1 is really good at introducing the characters and the world that Shrek exists in, but ultimately not a really interesting or fun it's fairly funny, but like it doesn't go super crazy with what it does. Shrek 2 is when they're like, okay, now you know who all these people are. Let's do something really stupid. And then they proceed to be like, here's Fairy Godmother. Here's here's a Prince Charming. Here's another goofy subplot. Fiona's been dragged in by this Prince Charming character. Oh no. Shenanigans ensue.
So it feels like
Puss in Boots.
the first movie they were kind of, they were getting they had this specific story they wanted to tell, and develop the characters just as much as they needed to be for that movie and that story.
Mhm.
And then they did the second one, and they're like, okay, we know who all these characters are now. They're well established. We can now expand on that, take it further, make it funnier, do more wild and crazy things, because we've already got our baseline, and kind of establish like what the vibe of this sort of like kind of anti-Disney fairy tale universe is, where it's just like, we're just doing everything way more over the top and crazy and weird and raunchy than Disney ever did. So that's how they approached it, and that's what they really did really, really good with 2 in that. And I think that's like the most realized version of Shrek. And most iconic. 3, I don't know what happened with 3. Because you'd think like, okay, with 2, well, they got all this stuff established. They know how to do all these really fun and silly and crazy funny things with the world and these characters. You'd think 3 would be good, but no. I guess they just kind of phoned it in. It was made quickly.
Yeah, how much time was
made
done between Shrek 2 and 3?
I feel like they didn't really. I didn't feel like they had enough time to like do something good with it, because it only came out like I think 3 years after the second one, which isn't that long.
Yeah. You think this might have been a case of them being like, we have a cash cow, let's just make a bunch of it, and then just didn't think about it further from there?
Yeah, it just feels like they really didn't. They just didn't care with the third one, which is kind of sad. I feel like they were maybe burned out. Maybe it was burned out. Maybe they were burned out. I don't know.
Well, what's sad is that
Yeah, and then
DreamWorks in general was a really here. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab this window that's behind this window. DreamWorks was a really interesting animation studio, like really early on, because like they did a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with Shrek, you know, and
Yeah.
like, a lot of like heavy hitters and really cool movies, stuff that like I've actively gone out and searched for.
yeah,
and
but early DreamWorks
got-
is really interesting.
just scrolling through my list of movies currently sitting here that I currently have available, because I know that there's a couple. I'll scroll through a few of them. Let's see. Where are you? I know we got a couple things. Sinbad. I've heard that apparently Sinbad's pretty good.
Sinbad is very good. So, my SO and I were talking a while back about. I don't know if we'll still do something with this. I hope we do because it was a cool idea. We were going to do a tabletop RPG, inspired by the franchise Twisted Wonderland, which is an anime franchise, Disney anime franchise. Basically, like, okay, so what if the Disney villains went and founded their own Hogwarts-style magic school, and it was filled with a bunch of handsome anime boys, and they're all like based on different Disney villains. And it's very popular. It's really cool. It has an anime that's very good. I highly recommend it. So we were like, hey, so let's do that, but with non-Disney animated movies. So a bunch of DreamWorks. We got some. We got K-pop Demon Hunters in there. We got just non-Disney. It wasn't DreamWorks specifically. It was just non-Disney. So we got some DreamWorks and then we got some other stuff. But one of the
Gotcha.
but since they were basing them around the villains, one of the notable DreamWorks villain was the villain of Sinbad, which is Eris, the goddess of chaos, like from Greek mythology. So I had not seen Sinbad since it was in the theater, which I was very young. I was a kid. I was just straight up a kid. So I remember seeing it in theaters and thinking it was cool, but I was a kid, so I didn't really remember anything about it. Other than it was like, I saw it was cool. But people are kind of, since then, have been like, Sinbad's not really that great. It's kind of like, the people's consensus on it was pretty, lukewarm. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go and rewatch it because I know next to remember pretty much nothing about this movie. And we want to go and look at these movies and villains for this project. So I rewatched Sinbad. Oh my God, I am so disappointed that people are lukewarm on this movie because it is awesome.
Yeah, like, look, considering the freaking drought we are living in right now when it comes to like animated movies, especially like the 2D, 3D hybrid animated movies, like you go back and you watch something like Sinbad and you're just like, what were you smoking back then to say this was bad? You were spoiled.
I know. It's just like, I think we were just spoiled by the Disney Renaissance because Sinbad's not like it's not a perfect movie. It's not like an amazing movie, but it's damn good for what it is.
No.
The main thing about it is just some of the old CG is very awkward. For a lot of the I feel like they were kind of trying to do for CG, like what they did with, it's clearly inspired by like Jason and the Argonauts and like those old Ray Harryhausen epics. Where Ray Harryhausen, he was the guy who made all those like epic adventure movies, and for all his like movie monsters, he would make them in stop motion, which had like a big contrast with it looked kind of odd compared to the live action actors, but that was how you did that stuff back then. I feel like that's what they were trying to do for Sinbad. Because it's a very similar style of movie, but instead of stop motion, they were using computer generated animation and 3D animation, which was very new at the time. So it looks a little weird, but and has not aged very well. But I feel like it kind of works because they are going for that Ray Harryhausen kind of thing, where the monsters and the effects and that look kind of odd from the rest of the look kind of off from the rest of the film. It's you could look at that and say, oh God, that's really dated and really awkward looking, but on the other hand, you could say it's the style that they're going for. So I don't mind it whatsoever. I think it works for the movie.
As somebody that grew up in that era, that's not gonna even like it's not even gonna like make a bump on the Richter scale for me. It's just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what movies looked like back then.
Yep.
Also, Gabo says, DreamWorks is weird. Like, they're amazing with originals, but as they evolve into franchises, eventually they become dull. See Kung Fu Panda 4, Shrek 3, Megamind
Ugh,
2.
yeah. Here's
The
the
only
thing. The thing about
exception
a
being How to Train Your
franchise is the
Dragon.
longer
Yeah,
it
that's
goes
right.
on,
How to Train Your
the
Dragon.
more you have to actually have ideas to keep it going and to have people who can breathe new life and interesting stuff into it. If you don't have that, it is going to get dull. And that is what happened with Kung Fu Panda and Shrek originally, I think.
Yeah, and
but
okay, so another movie we are gonna watch at some point, because I haven't watched this in a really long time, and it's another one of those DreamWorks films that's like, it's been really critically panned, but like, it's really good when you go back and like look at it in hindsight. The Road to El Dorado.
the fact Road to El Dorado is critically panned is the most. We are living in a nonsense world.
Mhm.
How are we living
Dude,
in a
like,
world?
I remember watching that
makes
when I was
any
younger,
sense?
and I thought it was freaking hilarious. Like,
Road to El Dorado is objectively a fantastic movie, and I will
right. And
will
for those
argue with
people who have
anyone
never
who
seen
says
it before,
otherwise. It is
for
great.
those people who have never seen it before, it came out around the exact same time as those films that, like, they started to incorporate 2D, 3D elements, and in general, they looked very Disney-esque. And the plot to El Dorado is basically, what if the funny comic side characters got their own movie? And that's essentially what it is. Like, it stars these two folks that they are escaping from the law, getting into a boat, and attempt to try and find the lost city of gold that is El Dorado. And
well, it's
they
based
find it
on
eventually,
like
obviously.
what did you? It's based on those old, like, there was these old movies that were like Road to whatever. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up what the inspiration was. Road to.
Perfect parallel to Emperor's New Groove. It's in a similar camp. I don't know if it's a parallel, but it's definitely like on par with it. Did they come out in similar years? Good question, actually. El Dorado came out in 2000.
Oh, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. So Bob Hope and Bing Crosby had a series of movies that were road to movies. Road to Bali, Road to
Gallo,
Road to
you're not gonna
Singapore,
believe
Road to
this.
Zanzibar, Road to Utopia, Road to Rio. Just a whole bunch of series of movies of just these two guys, played by Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, just going to these places and just having fun, wacky adventures. And that's what Road to El Dorado was inspired by. So they took these two characters that were inspired by them, the Spanish guys, Tulio and Miguel, and just have them go on a rollicking, wacky, wild adventure to the lost city of El Dorado, and it's really good.
To me, it feels like a movie
really
that's
good.
plenty epic. Like, it's a movie that feels plenty epic, but it's also a movie that's really just kind of there as being cheesy and goofy. Like, you're not supposed to take it super seriously, but it's fun, and you're going in there to have fun. Also,
it's very fun.
Is Vibe for real? Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm glad to see
Has
you
good
here.
music.
We're just we're chatting about like movies at the current moment.
Yeah.
So,
It's very good. It has very, very good music. It has songs by Elton John and Tim Rice, the same guys who did the music for Lion King. Very.
So I was gonna say, you are not gonna believe this. Road to El Dorado came out March 31st, 2000. You want to know when Emperor's New Groove came out? It's December. Oh, okay. March 31st, 2000 was when El Dorado came out. You want to know when New Groove came out?
You cut out again.
When did
Your
New Groove
internet
come
is
out?
poop.
When did New
Anyway.
Groove come out?
December 15th or December 10th of 2000.
Okay, that's kind of funny, but that's interesting because Emperor's New Groove was very famously in production hell, where originally it was a much more traditional Disney movie called Kingdom of the Sun, which was a Prince and the Pauper story set in, like the Aztec kingdom. And then it went through just the most crazy, insane development, absolute disaster production ever. There's an entire documentary about it called The Sweatbox, if you can find it, which Disney likes to hide. Disney likes to make it so people don't see that documentary because it does not paint them in a very good light.
Don't worry. There are ways you can find it.
There are ways, but yes, there are ways. If you can find it, it is extremely interesting. But the reason Emperor's New Groove became like this kind of this weird, goofy buddy comedy that has all these that basically just doesn't take itself seriously at all is because that was the only way the movie got made was basically by becoming a parody of itself through all of its crazy production
I think
disasters.
it worked out. I feel like it would have been kind of mid without it.
The only thing I mourn is the loss of Eartha Kitt's song, because originally Yzma had in the Kingdom of the Sun version, Yzma had a villain song. It was fully written and finished and created and recorded by Eartha Kitt, and we just never got to see it because it didn't end up in the Emperor's New Groove version. So very sad about that. It thankfully has been released online, so if you go and look it up, you can hear it. It's very cool. I do wish that we had kind of kept that, but other than that, I love Emperor's New Groove. Very funny, very funny, very.
At some point, we are
Disney
going to
does something a little different.
Yeah, at some point we are going to watch that in the server, and when we watch it, it's not going to be the same day because Emperor's New Groove is about an hour and a half long, if I remember right, and then the documentary based off of it is it's much longer. Well, I mean, it's about as long as that. So we're gonna have to plan a double feature kind of thing where we do one thing one week and then we cover the documentary the next week.
That would be awesome. Or the other way around, we watch the Sweatbox first and then we watch Emperor's New Groove to see here's the crazy story of this movie. Now here's the movie.
We could do that. Actually, how long is it? Let me check real quick. Fuck!
Also, Gabo,
it's an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
How long? Hold on a second. How long is? Dude, you know how long the Emperor's New Groove is?
How long?
An hour and 18.
Oh wow, the documentary.
It's shorter than the Sweatbox.
That's funny.
Oh no.
Also, Gabo, I did not know in the Spanish community that that makes a lot of sense though. That Roll de El Dorado is very popular in the Spanish community. I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it is very. There are tons of memes. Yeah, there's tons of memes about it even in English.
I love the memes, especially
people quote, and there are a lot of quotes and gifs and stuff from Roll de El Dorado that are very popular. So
I love the guitar gif.
Yeah. The Tulio guitar on the guitar, yeah.
I'm looking forward to when we finally watch it. Though, I took a little bit of a break from doing anything Disney related recently because we, not too long ago, watched, the Disney film. The one.
Lion King.
The Lion King. And I'm like, we need a break now.
Oh, but speaking of Disney, Gabo also asked, "What is the best? That is the best era of Disney?" That is depending on. I think it depends on which aspect of Disney. If you're talking feature films, I still think it's probably still the Disney Renaissance, the one in the '90s that I grew up with. I'm probably biased because I did grow up with it, but I think everything from Who Framed Roger Rabbit until probably up until Lilo and Stitch, I think is really, really fantastic. Though I also do defend when Disney, I'm also a defender of Disney's steampunk, Disney's experimental steampunk sci-fi era of Atlantis and Treasure Planet. I think those movies are very awesome and very underrated.
Showing at some point. By the way, speaking of Atlantis, you want to know how trying to find a copy of a Blu-ray of Disney's Atlantis it felt like it probably would have been easier to just go find the lost city of Atlantis. I don't know why. Like, for some reason, every time I bought a copy of that movie on Amazon, like, I would buy it and then I would wait for it to finally arrive. And then, like, one time I got a shipping label, and then it said that, like, shipping label created. Well, it'll be shipping soon. And then it didn't ship. And then I'd call Amazon and be like,
Oof.
hey, so the Blu-ray didn't get released out of wherever it's being stored. Can I get my money back? And they're like, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, here's your money back. And then I went and I bought it again, and this time it didn't even ship. It got all the way up to the day it was supposed to show up, and I'm just like, yeah, didn't show up again. Used a completely different seller. Can I get my money back? It took me forever to finally get a copy. And you know where it ended up being? I ended up finding a copy. It was being sold through Amazon, but it was located in my state. So, like,
Wild.
It showed up the next day. And also, I think it was an old copy that was from a library.
Interesting.
So that was kind of neat. But anyway,
I'm kind of
Atlantis now.
surprised to know it was even released on Blu-ray. I know
It
that,
is. There's a Blu-ray release, and honestly,
Disney doesn't completely reject it.
this visually, Atlantis is just freaking beautiful. I would have not wanted
It's
to
really
watch
cool.
this movie in any other way aside from Blu-ray.
Yeah, the animation's
but the other thing
fantastic. Same with Treasure
The other
Planet.
thing that it came with, though, is Atlantis Milo's Returned. Where?
You're cutting out again. I'm gonna reconnect.
Ah! Anyway. Classic Disney in general, always best. Yeah, no, I'm biased when it comes to the 90s as well. I can't deny that. I'm a 90s child. So I look at that stuff and I'm like, that's Disney to me. What's this shit that came out in the 50s? Get that out of here.
I watched a lot of the old Disney stuff. So when I was growing up, Disney was re-releasing. The VHS was the boom. It was during the boom of the VHS era. The home video was real big when I was a kid, and so Disney was releasing everything they'd ever made on VHS. So like everything from Snow White up until Little Mermaid. So so I saw tons of Disney movies from all their different eras growing up on VHS as a kid, and so I've had a taste of all of those eras of Disney. But I'm still most partial to the Disney Renaissance. And as far as now, I said that's for movies. As far as TV eras go, I think that's also worth talking about when it comes to Disney. The best time Disney's best age in terms of its TV animation was the first half of the 2010s.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I really should look up Disney Channel shows. There's probably like a wiki that exists somewhere. There we go. Shows
We
broadcast by
had
Disney.
Gravity Fall. We had, I think Phineas and Ferb was still going at that point. It was kind of wrapping up though, but we had kind of the tail end of Phineas and Ferb. We had Gravity Falls. We had Motor City. We had Randy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja. We had Wander Over Yonder. We had, what else? I don't like Star versus the Forces of Evil, but other people did. So, and it was, I guess, successful for the time and was good for like a season and a half. So maybe it's worth mentioning. I don't know. I never liked that show though. Pen Zero Part-Time Hero, extremely underrated. Just Disney was making so much good shit in the early 2010s.
So I've looked up like list of programs broadcasted by Disney. Apparently it's so widely vast of a subject that it's separated into like different individual categories and not separated by year. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ew. So I have no idea what the era, which era of Disney Channel I would be interested in.
Mm.
I was okay. Like, I mean, I watched a heck of a lot of Disney, but like Disney wasn't really my one-stop shop growing up. Like for me, it was Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Those
Same.
were like the two.
Same.
Let's-
Nickelodeon more later on. I didn't really start getting into Nickelodeon stuff until high school. But yeah, Cartoon Network for sure. I was a huge Cartoon Network kid growing up. And Phoenix, congrats on you love Pen Zero. Congrats on having excellent taste. That show fucking ruled, and I was so mad that everybody and their mom was talking about Star Versus, a show that wasn't that good and was really bad was mostly really bad. There was a season and a half where it was decent. It was the second half of season 1 and season 2 were good. The rest was trash. Meanwhile, Pen Zero was right there, being amazing, and nobody talked about it. I'm still mad.
I'm so out of the loop.
And also Yin Yang Yo. I was going to mention Yin Yang Yo also. That show is. I have a funny story about Yin Yang Yo. So that was a Disney. That was a very early Disney. That was like an early 2000s Disney cartoon, maybe early mid 2000s, something like that. Very very old, like. Basically when digital animation first started getting really big for and stuff like using stuff like Toon Boom and Flash in particular, it had what you might call like the early Flash animation style, which is very like blocky and simple and shape oriented, and it's not like the best looking show, which I probably turned a lot of people off from it. But the thing about Yin Yang Yo was the writing was really good. And the reason why the writing was really good, and it was actually a very enjoyable cartoon that I watched quite a bit, was because of a writer named Eric Trueheart. And because he was also a writer on Invader Zim. And he wrote some of the most iconic episodes of Invader Zim. And to the point where he was even invited to InvaderCon, the Invader Zim convention that I went to in 2011. Right before I started college. It was in Atlanta, so I was in Atlanta getting ready to go to college, and so I went to InvaderCon. And there I met basically the entire cast. The voices of Zim, Dib, Gur, Gaz, and it was those four, and then the writer Eric Trueheart. So I went up to him and got not only an autographed script for an episode he wrote of Zim. I told him, there's this other cartoon that I know that you wrote for called Yin Yang Yo, and originally I didn't think much of it because the animation style was just like so simplistic. But I watched it and I was really, really impressed by the writing. And I saw in the credits that you were one of the writers. So I wanted to come tell you, I really appreciate your writing on that show because I think you really elevated it. And he was so happy to hear that because apparently he had like never been recognized or complimented for his work on that show. He's like, thank you so much. Nobody ever seems to appreciate the work I did or the writing I did on that show. You're one of the very first people. One of the only people. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that because I really did try to do my best as a writer on that show and make it good. And it's just a good memory that I have. It's just like I liked
that is super sweet.
Yeah, it was a wholesome moment of like, hey, this thing that you put a lot of work into and isn't very much appreciated, I noticed it and I appreciated it. Thank you. And it was great.
I feel like I'd have a very similar story if I met Charles Martinet, being like, I like you as the Bing Bing Wahoo guy, but I really appreciate you being the narrator for Bit Runner 2. I feel like you would hear that and just be like, what? You remember that?
Yeah, Phoenix. That is because it is the same creator, the creator of Wow Wow Wubsy, which was a like a preschool show, I think. It's the same creator of Yin Yang Yo, so that's why they have that similar art style. Yeah, Carl the Cockroach.
Okay, so unfortunately, this is not going to be in any particular like order of release date, but I got a handful of things that I remember watching from Disney back in the day. Obviously, I watched Lilo and Stitch, the series. I mean,
Yep.
frig. That series was freaking great.
Oh yeah.
And like, it's just an experiment in episode. Woo! And you get to see like the kind of crazy stuff that the Jumbo was making on his off time.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. And then we have what else? Okay, here we go. We've made it to original programming. I feel like I watched some episodes of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Probably,
Oh yes, I
but-
had that. So that's so serious. That's from the 80s, I believe.
But
and
it was reran from 1994 to 2006. So.
Yep. That is where how I saw it as a kid. I also owned a lot of episodes on VHS of New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So that is, I watched that quite a bit growing up because I had it on VHS, and sometimes it would be on TV still, despite it being originally from the 80s. It just kind of they just kept airing it like throughout the 90s and a little bit in the 2000s still, because it's good Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, I'm about to like
and it has a
murder
great
lot
song.
of older people that may or may not run into this video here. But unfortunately, these are some shows that I am not going to be able to get excited about. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
I never saw much of Chip and Dale growing up. Like I said, I didn't really. There wasn't a lot of Disney TV stuff I watched as a kid. So a lot of the like Disney Saturday morning, Disney afternoon stuff, I only kind of saw later on. I didn't watch a whole lot of that as a kid, but I did see some of it later on. I did see some of Recess. I did see some of one or two other shows from that era, but like I wasn't like the biggest like Disney afternoon, Disney Saturday morning person.
All right. Well, here's a couple of other ones. I've heard people talk about Tailspin. I've never seen
Tailspin!
Jesus.
Sorry.
We've awoken a sleeper cell.
I've sadly not seen Tailspin, but I have heard good things about it. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the Disney afternoon stuff I just did not get into until, or did not see or get into until like much later on, or still not even gotten into it or seen it.
There is Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck I did not see until high school, but Darkwing Duck is very good.
Yes.
I've heard good things. The Adventures of the Gummy Bears. I know of it.
I know of it, have never
Gummy
seen it personally.
bears, climbing here and there and everywhere. I'm aware. Goof Troop. Yeah.
Goof Troop, actually, funnily enough, I did not know about until after I saw a Goofy movie. I saw a Goofy movie just thinking that it was its own thing. I'm like, wait, then I was like, wait, this is based on a TV show? Because yeah, a Goofy movie is Goof Troop the movie. But
I understand.
unless you knew that, you wouldn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So
All right.
yeah, the Goofy movie is directly based on Goof Troop, because that is Goof Troop was the show where Goofy is a single dad with his teenage son Max, and then Pete is their neighbor with his son and wife,
Okay.
and they're like the neighborhood rivals.
I figured that Goof Troop was like the spin-off show after they released the movie.
No, it predates it.
All right. Well.
Yeah,
I guess
Goofy movie is Goof Troop the movie, basically.
Curious. Pen Zero was the third type. Phineas was the fourth. Samurai Jack was the first, and this show about the purple cat was the second. I don't know. Oh, most of the show Disney had in the era were either unknown to me, meh, caught my attention but couldn't watch them, or really fucking great. Man, that's how TV programming works, doesn't it? It's just like it's throwing everything at you and crossing your fingers that most of it sticks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple of. I forgot Aladdin was an animated series for a while.
Oh my god, the Aladdin cartoon. So I got a story about the Aladdin cartoon. The Aladdin cartoon, I very rarely saw on TV as a kid, but what I did have were several VHS tapes of the Aladdin cartoon, with and lots of the episodes on the VHS tapes that I have happen to be focused around Jasmine. One of those episodes is called Eye of the Beholder, and is about a she was a recurring villain in the cartoon. Her name was Mirage, and she is a source. She's a furry cat girl, evil sorceress, and I am pretty sure that she was my first ever like crush on a woman. Because she is very evil and cool and sexy. And in this episode, she curses Jasmine to turn into a Naga. And if you know what that is, it is a half humans, half snake person. But in the end, Aladdin they overcome, like Jasmine and Aladdin's like love overcomes the curse, and she was very cunty. I love her. Overcome the curse and prove, because Mirage was trying to prove that like, oh, their love couldn't survive like a curse like this or something like that. But here's the thing about this episode. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure that is the origin of both my furry and scaly appeal, because I watched that tape and that episode very, very much growing up, and I am pretty sure it is the sole reason why I'm really into Nagas and snakes in general, and also enjoy furries and evil sorcerer women. Plenty evil sorcerer women like Mirage in that show. And also, I had a cat.
Now that we've talked about, evil sorceress women and like hot cartoon characters, suddenly Show appears.
I was gonna say, I'm coming at a really good time.
I'm talking about one of my first furry waifus, Mirage from the Aladdin cartoon, who I also named my cat after. When I was 10 years old, I got a Siamese cat. She lived until my second year of college or actually no, it was still my first year. It was until my freshman year of college in 2012. Rest her soul. But yeah, I named her Mirage after Mirage from the Aladdin cartoon because yeah.
Here, it's not the same. Me and a friend, we have some Star Wars OCs. There are these species. They're called Zygerians.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cat people.
Yeah.
And I got a picture of our OCs done. It's really well rendered. I'll post it inside chat. But no, I completely understand.
Am I allowed to put it on the screen?
Yeah, you can put it on the screen. It's made by Calvin24, who did a fucking amazing job, might I add.
Yes, I've seen it. It's amazing.
It really fucking is.
Let me go grab
They have this on their portfolio. I was like, yippee!
It's just like, go off, dude. Show it off. Oh, here. Yes,
there you see
the
Cecil.
There we go. Did it save? Refresh page. There it is. Look at that. Look at how rendered. Ow, thank you for the duck. Look at how rendered that is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Points at the Catwoman. Points at you. Points at the Catwoman. Points at you.
That there is some cunty vibes coming off of the Catwoman.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. She is horrible. Actually, they're designed to be killed.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. Just like they're terrible freaking people, but they're great for each other.
For those in chat who do not know, Zygeria is the slave planet of the galaxy. There is, if slavery happens, the Zygerians are interested and willing to make bets on living people. These two are horrible people. They start the coup that makes Zygeria the slaving capital of the galaxy. Like, they're horrible, and they're designed to die, and their legacy lives on in making their planet a horrible utopia built on blood. But yes, they are absolutely swanky while doing it.
Of course.
Slay queen.
Gotta slay while you slay, what?
Ignore the fact that the jewelry is most likely ripped off from the planets that they have conquered and taken people from.
Okay. Also,
Nah,
for
I'm not.
those of you, those of you who have not seen the Aladdin cartoon, too young to have seen it. Unfortunately could not find a very good like official screenshot of her. I guess because the show is old and it's not on Disney Plus or anything, it's kind of hard to get good quality footage of. So I have to settle for at least this is fan art, but it is very on model and like captures the spirit and style and vibe of the show and everything. So for that, but here is Mirage, my
Oh, I've seen
my
Mirage.
evil
Yeah.
wife, my evil
Yeah.
wife.
There's
Show
one that I
her.
found on Instagram here.
Here, I'm gonna
Give it a sec. There it is.
Oh, that's really good
Oh,
too. Oh, look at that.
Jesus. That is red. God damn it! It cuts off their.
It's a digital
Marcus
art card
ear or
illustration. That would be Marcus Erd. So ERDT.
ERDT.
I can link their Instagram.
Yeah, sure. Here, let me. Okay. I'm gonna show that one because holy crap! Look at this. Whoa!
There you go. There's the Instagram link.
Evil.
They even have a work in progress, so that you know that it's physically drawn and not like an AI
Right.
thing, which is
Yeah.
nice.
I respect that. Thank you for no AI. Appreciated.
Oh shit!
So
Wait.
the queen,
Another
she's
work in
so
progress.
slay.
Another work in progress shot to show some of the sketching perspective and layer work. At this point, the face was off model, which I corrected later on. This is part of my Disney Lorcana TCG fan arts that I make for my portfolio. More to come.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god, if Mirage was in the Lorcana, I would play Lorcana.
Oh.
They
Yeah. So yes, thank you, Aladdin cartoon, for making me a scaly and a furry.
It's gonna happen eventually. Like, you know what's funny? I saw this one thing not too long ago where like, what was it? It was like, shoot, I forget what it was. It was talking about how like, oh well, we need to tell the kids don't do drugs, don't do violence, and you know that sex is bad and all of that jazz. We're gonna put all these morals into 90s cartoons and stuff, but we're also gonna poison everyone's minds and turn them all into furries. So we're breaking our children somehow. We had no idea how.
That's just what
We didn't know
Disney
what we were
does.
doing.
That's just what Disney does. Disney, more than
Random
any other
aside.
thing on the planet, I can say with 100% certainty that Disney, more than any other entity on the planet, has created the most furries.
Yeah. I can't
Also-
deny that one.
One last thing, specifically for Zisel. These are some of the other ideas that they had for the Lorcana.
Ooh.
Oh, these are beautiful.
I'm tossing that
Oh, I
onto
love these.
I'm tossing that onto
I
the
love
screen
it.
too.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the freaking composition for all these.
I know where
Lord.
I love I really love the ones on the right, the bottom right and the top right, where she's like looking into the crystal ball with like vision of Agrabah, like a sinister, like scheming sinisterly, and then the bottom where she's got like all the power and it's just like ha ha.
Right,
It's like,
everything just
ah.
swirling around.
ah. Step on me, queen. Please step on me.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
not
say
gonna-
I didn't
I'm gonna
expect
tell
it.
him not to. There we go.
Can't say that
Also, I
didn't
never said
expect
hi
it.
to Comfy because Comfy's in the chat too and just vibing.
Hi, Comfy.
Hello,
Enjoy me.
Comfy.
Simp for evil cat women.
Cat ladies. So random aside, while we have show in here, we were also discussing like the watch parties that we do over in this Discord on Fridays.
Yeah.
We have not made any announcements yet, but we're gonna watch Star Wars eventually.
Hey, man. I'll happily join you for that.
So like
I am
he's
I assume
the guy.
you'll I will probably watch it when they release like the unremastered versions, right? Like the original when they re-release the original theatrical
Please,
cuts. We'll watch
I
those.
had the original versions on VHS, and then that's how I watched it. Besides like episode 3, which was the only one I had on DVD, I had everyone from episode 1, 2, skip 3, 4 to 6, all of them were on VHS. And that fucked my eyesight. Turns out they were actually right. You can't look at a CRT TV with just your eyes for long periods of time. That's actually very bad. It's blasting radiation at you. But in the
I
long
got really
run,
up close and personal to CRTs when I was younger.
yeah, me too. That we wear glasses bit me.
Oh fuck.
But
Well, okay, so we haven't seen any of the Star Wars films, and I ran a poll a long time ago. And I have basically told people, like, okay, here's the deal. What do you want? Do you want to just get through the prequels as quickly as possible and get the pain over with? Or do you want to experience Star Wars properly? The poll said people want to experience it properly, so we do need to watch the prequels first.
Okay, fine.
And I have like
You know what?
an
That's
entire
fine.
box set. I have an entire box set of like all of the Star Wars movies up from 1 to 6, and a special treat that I got planned for 4 through 6 actually is you might have heard the despecialized edition.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, that's just like where
Yeah.
they restore it back to the theatrical cut as much as possible.
Yeah. I have it. So I figured
Yay.
we could treat ourselves and experience it as in the most theatrical way possible. So, because like I could technically show the Blu-ray variation of it, but I don't know. There's something really otherworldly about like I've only really lived with the special editions in my life, and it's interesting to watch the original cuts and be like, oh, there's no CG and the explosions don't have rings around them.
Yeah.
Bader Comfy, thanks for dropping in for just a little bit.
CC
Thanks for coming in, Comfy.
There is 2 ways to experience it, and you labeled them perfectly. You labeled them gritting your teeth and going through the prequels. I like the prequels, but I'm also biased because I was a child when I watched them. And watching them as God intended, which was the episode 4 to 6, and then you go back and you watch prequels and but I think personally it is a better experience to watch them continuity wise.
Yeah.
The other option
My hot take is
the other option we had was that there does exist who was it? What actor? There's this one specific actor that really famously went and did a recut of the entirety of the prequel trilogy and cut it down to just like a 2-hour movie, which like
No.
technically speaking you could watch that, but you're also missing a lot of the context, and I don't know, it just doesn't sound like it would be right. So I figure it's a good idea to just start from episode 1 and travel all the way up to 6. So
yeah. So back when I was in college, around the time Force Awakens came out, I actually did a project on Star Wars for one of my classes, and so for that, my friends and I decided. I had seen the original. Actually, I'd only seen the original trilogy a year or two before for the first time because I had never seen Star Wars up until I went to college. So in one of my classes, I actually had a class called Classics of Science Fiction, where it was where all we did was watch sci-fi movies and read sci-fi books and wrote and talked about them. First day of class, the first thing we did was watch Star Wars, the episode 4, A New Hope. And that was the first time I saw it. So after that, I went and watched the other 2, 5 and 6. And then when I was doing this project in another class, like 2 years later, I was like, for this project, I think I gotta watch the prequels, which I saw like Phantom Menace in theaters when it came out when I was a kid. I remembered absolutely nothing about it. So I'm like, I basically never seen these. So let's just watch it all. Let's just watch them and see what we think. And my consensus was Phantom Menace is a so bad it's good movie. I think that movie is a mess, but it is very fun to watch. It is very enjoyably corny and dumb and just so goofy that I kind of can't hate it. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I could vibe with that.
Episode 3 is the most is the least bad objectively. It is the closest to being a good movie. I say that one is it's fine enough. It could have been way better, but it also could have been way worse. It's just fine.
For me,
the only one I
episode
thought
3,
was honestly genuinely
episode,
bad. Okay, you
the
go
only
first.
one you think was bad was
2. 2 is so fucking boring.
It is.
I felt like nothing fucking happened in episode 2. I'm just like,
two
it felt so
is
long.
Bureaucracy, the movie.
It is
No,
so
no, no.
long and so boring, and nothing fucking happens, and I hated every minute of watching it.
I hold both of you. It is so infinitely better if you watch the Clone Wars show because it contextualizes a motherfuck ton of everything that happens in there.
Oh yeah, then after that, I did watch Gendy Tartakovsky's animated Clone Wars miniseries, and that
Not
show
that one.
fucking rules.
It's not canon. I throw it to the side. It gave everybody the worst possible perception of General Grievous, and I hold that my opinion is the only correct one. Because I'm salty. Everybody sees General Grievous and they're like, why isn't he cool? Why isn't he like this cartoon? Why isn't he like this? And like every single time I see General Grievous, he's like this backstabby, pathetic like general who thinks that he can fight a target because there's less of them than there is of him, or they're intellectually or technologically less superior than he is. He fights the witches of Dathomir and he outnumbers them. He fights a witch to a standstill and kills her, and there's like only one witch fighting him and he has 4 arms. Every single time he's on screen, he has this like idea of like, I'm better and bigger than you, but in reality he's like a brain, a heart, and a face, and that's all that's left of him. Isn't that poetic? Isn't that justice? To know that this character who is so fucking cool is actually falling apart at the seams, that he is a metaphor, a visual metaphor for the CIS itself, a thing that is supposed to be against the Republic, and yet it is being toyed with by forces it cannot comprehend, and it's falling apart at the seams, but it's still pushing forwards to some warring resolution. Isn't that beautiful? But no! Everybody saw Gendy Tartakovsky's one, where he's a big fucking evil monster that just slashes and kills things and looks cool. And they want that one, because that's the one they want. Fuck you. I hate this fandom.
You know what? That's fair. I did think Grievous was cool in the Gendy show.
Oh no, he's so hot. But that's not the point.
Show, you realize this is exactly why I brought up Star Wars. and why I'm like, hey, Star Wars.
So you're saying I should also watch the other Clone Wars show, which I actually, I did hear that was good. So
I'm saying that if you're going to watch it, you need to find a guide on what episodes are essential, because otherwise you're going to watch the plot line where Jar Jar Binks gets a girlfriend, and you don't want to watch that. It's so boring. It's so boring and cringy.
What if someone is disturbingly into it, though?
Okay, that's fine then. Let them be into it, alright? Listen, I know people who unironically have a crush on Jar Jar, and I'm not gonna yuck their yum, okay? But there is an episode, it's like the last season before Disney canceled the production of it, where like Jar Jar gets a girlfriend, and it definitely rings of, what are you gonna do? Cancel the show?
It's the only other thing you could do is just flip off the camera and just be like, try me, Disney.
It's a dick tits moment, if you know.
Yeah.
What I mean.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I
Right.
know. What are you gonna do? Cancel us some more?
Yeah.
That's true. I like
Another-
people
yeah,
that
that was
go out in a
actually-
burning passion, frankly.
Yeah. That was actually another thing I realized about Phantom Menace when I watched it in college was Jar Jar is not that bad because he's very much positioned as being an annoying and obnoxious on purpose. Like he's this bumbling idiot that ended up coming along with the game, and just Qui-Gon Jinn is just death glaring him every single time he does something stupid, and I kind of thought that was funny.
The thing with like Gungans as a whole too is that they were like painted with such a bad light from Jar Jar, and then you look at their society and they're literally the coolest thing ever. Like-
That too.
Like they
That was
are.
also what I realized watching the prequels. It's like, why, guys? Why are Gungans so fucking cool? Why is Jar Jar
It's-
such a loser?
it's
But why are
even-
Gungans so fucking cool?
It's even when you like look into the lore of it. Gungans were the natives on that planet. Humans settled it because, like, it's a pristine planet, basically, and it has an unlimited resource, which is plasma. Plasma is needed in a lot of shields, it's needed in a lot of ship systems, etc., etc. So you want plasma. It has an unlimited resource, and the humans basically did an America. They colonized the
Yay.
planet and forced the Gungans underwater. The Gungans then proceeded to evolve technology to aid in their living of underwater. They created bubble shields, coral structures that would physically grow and self-repair if damage happened. Their submarines are made of coral. That's why the creatures take bites out of it, because it's genuinely tasty to them. It's like eating a rock to us, but to them it's like genuine good source of calcium, etc., and various other minerals. So, like, you hear all this and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you look into Gungans, and they're like an honorable warrior species that, like, stick to their word pretty much, and they got their own thing going on. They're kind of very nationalist when it comes to their thoughts on Naboo and whatnot. There was a species before them. They might have not originated from there, but it's their home. And the whole point of episode 1 is that they're at like odds because at that point, to them, the humans were still colonizing dickheads who could not get along with them. And that's cool. And then you have like this one dumbass who is like makes everyone look bad by comparison. And it's so aggravating. Oh, it's so annoying. But I understand why people would like see that and be like, man, why'd they introduce the annoying species?
I think it's the
No.
execution, frankly.
Yeah.
It's the whole like, man, you could have pulled this off in so many other ways, and this was the option. Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Also, why I am a devout believer in the originally Jar Jar was supposed to be a Sith Lord theory,
Yes.
because
I-
oh my god, that would have been cool.
I think it's
I'm
good
curious
where
about
they
what Synth
settled
thinks.
with him.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
curious
you're-
of what Show thinks about that one.
I think it's a very funny and plausible idea, but what they did with him was way better. There's a book, and this, towards the end of it, a child who is a refugee from the Empire lands on Naboo, and by a fountain there's a Gungan, and he's juggling, he's tripping over himself, he's making children laugh. And their mother asks him, like, why are you doing this? Why are you humiliating yourself, you know? You don't need to do this. Especially not for free. And he's like, it's fine. Yeah, I messed up, and I can't go back home because of my fuck up. And I can't stay anywhere, but this is my home. And I will do what I can to make people happy. And she goes, what did you do? And he basically says something to the equivalent of what happened in episode 3, which was, I enabled the Empire. I allowed for an emergency vote, which allowed Chancellor Palpatine in. And from that context alone, it's never explicitly said, but that's Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks, in his life, goes from politician to nobody wants to see you again. And he basically becomes like a homeless person who helps cheer up children who are like refugees from their planet, which is so sweet. And it's
That
such
is
like a
sweet.
great end to him. But like that's what needs to happen, man. He was the useful idiot. You know? He was
Yeah.
brought into
That's
politics.
that's sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
how
know if
you
that was-
write a good ending to a character. That's for sure. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
when you can make me feel bad for Jar Jar, you did something right. Fuck.
Like I said, I feel like one strength Phantom Menace does have is does seem very, very aware of how dumb and annoying Jar Jar is, and that is why like Qui-Gon Jinn is having none of his shit throughout the movie. That is one of the funniest and most enjoyable things, is just how much of an idiot Jar Jar is and how much Qui-Gon just can't fucking stand him.
Sure.
So Jar Jar was one portion of it. The other portion I remember is people talking about how young Anakin, like, he just hero quips like a bastard. In
Yeah, he
so
does.
many
Oh
circumstances.
yeah, he's like the most
And you're just like,
unrealistic
"But
Mary
shut
Sue
the fuck
kid
up."
ever.
I use him as an example for like, okay, so I have an OC. He's called Gut. He's Gut Voth. He's this Mandalorian. He's a legend. But even he has fucking limits. He once entered a pod race and killed every pod racer. It was part of a Zerka Corporation thing. They're like a small corporation by then, but they still wanted to pit the race, basically. Make it so that one racer won overall. And he was like 16, he didn't know what he was doing, and he crashed the pod, and it was his mum who saved him, and he was super embarrassed about it. But like, whenever he tells that story, people are like, that's bullshit. You were 16, you're a Gagarin, so you were weighing down your pod. There's no way you were making that speed. And he's like, oh, so a 16-year-old alien does it. But the moment a 12-year-old boy wins the Bunta Eve, ooh, we don't believe him. That story's so fucking real. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I love that. That's amazing. Just like, oh yeah, his speeder is faster than anybody else's, but I couldn't possibly do that. You racist fuck.
He's a conspiracy theorist about the entire timeline. Like, he genuinely does not believe that Luke exists, and he's special ops. He's rebel special ops. Like, he doesn't believe Luke exists. What do you mean a farm boy from buttfuck nowhere found the princess and then blew up the Death Star? Fuck you. You're making shit up.
Yes, it's like, this has all been planted. Somebody did. This is a covert operation. Somebody did this on high.
It's a psyop.
On
Dude,
a-
yeah,
that's
see you later,
something I want
Gabo.
more out of. Like, we need more sci-fi stories with cynics. People that are just like, dude, shit didn't happen.
Also,
Just
bye,
the crazy
Gabo.
Earl in the
Thank you for
background,
coming
just being
in.
like,
And
Bye-bye.
I agree.
Yeah.
Show's voice is very nice.
Well,
it is
I am
very
a
nice.
voice
Did
actor.
you know that Show is a voice actor?
Yeah. I do stuff for Welcome Home. I do narration work, which big smiles.
And it's very nice. I did have an idea for like a dumb thing that I want to do a recording of. I think I posted it over in the gang server. This literally, it is all like volunteer work. And if somebody doesn't have time to do it,
Yeah.
I got sick. Like the other day, I was scrolling through my Tumblr and I saw my old not shit post, but like my short story. Just basically, it's just a big allegory for the fact that AI is bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to just like do a recording of this, this bit, except get like a narrator and 2 actors to do a bunch of the lines. And I
Yeah.
thought it'd be kind of funny. Though, it would require, 1, having somebody with just as much spite about AI. 2, somebody with time. I don't know. I thought it'd be fun. For those people who don't know what I'm talking about, it was an entire thing where the allegory was, it's like a bread factory, or like basically it's just like a bread maker in like a humble small town that's been there for like many generations, and then like this hotshot random company comes in with like their flash bread technology. And then it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. But, you know, I make good stuff. I'm confident. I'll be able to live through this. And then a lot of people start going over to that place. But then like, even though the bread is like shit quality and people are finding weird stuff in it, like, you know, like they open it up and it's raw on the inside. Some of them are completely hollow. One of them's got weird spots. But for the most part, people are like, I'll get over it because they'll just make another one right away.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that it costs so much frickin' money to do exactly what they're doing. Anyway, you probably see the, it's not a subtle allegory. It's very on the nose. And it's like, it is literally just like, if it wasn't obvious, like at the beginning of the story, I make it stupidly obvious at the end.
Yeah.
But no, I wrote that like 3 years ago, and look where we are now.
Oh yeah. No, it's so much worse now.
It's
like if every time that they made little they made like the bread, like they also had to use like fuck up the water when they did it,
right?
Like on purpose.
Right, just like, we have some runoff. We gotta run into the local lake. I hope you're all right with that. It's like, oh, gee, thanks. Actually, funny enough, oh god, there's so many things in that story that I'm like, wow, that shit's evergreen. Like, there's one part in it where I mentioned that, like, you know, you end up in this room and it's filled with all of these computers that are constantly running with fans running full blast. And I'm sitting there being like, that's the energy usage. Like, no, this works way too well right now. I specifically wrote this like in reference to like AI art. But yeah, this works on like all AI bullshit right now.
AI images. AI cannot create art. I am very much against the term AI art because there is no such thing. AI cannot create art.
Correct.
Yeah.
The other day, actually, no, this is a little bit earlier today. I was scrolling through my socials and I ran across one person's account and they were calling themselves an AI illustrator. You didn't illustrate shit.
Yeah.
You typed a whole bunch of crap into ChatGPT or something similar and said, make this image for me, please.
Yeah.
The best analogy I've ever heard is somebody saying, like, it's like going into a McDonald's, ordering a Big Mac, and saying you're a chef.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not a chef. You're just really good at telling people to make orders. And then you pay for them. You can't just be like, I am the finest sous chef in the land. Gaze upon me as I prepare you a nice, fine steak. No. What are you going off about? Well, I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours here. I think I kind of want to just start mellowing out here for the rest of the night. Do we got anybody to raid?
Toxic Soul 77 or Markatoto?
Hold on a second. Toxic Soul 77. I don't think I've ever seen. Let me see what they're up to. Oh, they're playing Mina.
Yeah, they're playing Mina the Hauler.
They've been streaming for 6 hours. Good freaking god. Have they only been playing Mina, or have they tried other things?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I think I'm
curious about jumping in and seeing what the stream's like, though. Here, let me type in the raid message here. Toxic Soul. No, spelled wrong. There we go. Okie dokie. Well, okay. I'm gonna do some outro stuff, and and I'm gonna, finish this up and jump out of the chat. So, I don't have much to say with my my outro here, aside from thanks guys for coming in and watching us and being here for the conversation. Like, today was nice. I needed a nice just chill out and chat. Especially thanks you guys for jumping in and having conversation. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We got to talk TADC finale, and
oh god, we talked about so much stuff today. Good lord.
Yeah,
TADC.
I was hoping we could talk more Disney cartoons. I was hoping we could talk more Disney TV cartoons, but maybe next time.
To be fair, we talk about Disney so often that like we're gonna come back around to this conversation.
True.
Like it's only a matter of time. So here's the rundown of what I got lined up for this week for anybody who is interested. Wednesday, Deltarune's happening.
Yep.
I'm going to be playing that on the stream, and I know that like I'll be playing it on release day, so there's a good chance that you guys probably are gonna need to play it first before you can watch my stream. Totally get that. Don't feel obligated. Don't spoil yourself on my account. Play Toby's funny game. It's probably going to be good.
I'm going to be totally honest. I still haven't played Chapter 4.
What the fuck? Chapter 4 is so good. What do you mean?
Because I suck at the gameplay.
Oh, okay. So Chapter 4 might be very difficult for you then.
I think I'm just gonna watch a playthrough. As sad as it is to say, I just don't have the patience for Toby's funny bullet hell.
Spoil anything for anybody? I know that in Chapter 3 there was the TV time stuff, like the fight with Tenna and all that jazz. And that was tough, but like it was fairly reasonable, I felt, and it was a really fun boss fight. If you had trouble with Chapter 3's bosses, Chapter 4 would have like turned you into like a video game cynic. You would have never touched a video game ever again.
Yeah. The only reason I was good at Undertale is because Undertale was a single game that was finished at once, and so you just play through and has a single progressive difficulty. The problem with Deltarune is that Toby designs it like all of the chapters are available at once. So, even though you are Chapter 3 and 4 is like, several hours into the game, but you're playing it after not having played chapters 1 and 2 for several years. So I was so shit at Chapter 3 that I just never bothered to play Chapter 4.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Considering what waits for you in Chapter 4, I would not blame you if you just watch somebody else play it.
I'm just gonna watch someone else do it.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday, and I am so excited. I cannot wait for it.
Heck yeah.
So that's happening then. Yeah. Saturday, I'm going to be... I ended up skipping the previous Saturday. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, right. I was completely Digital Circus brained and I didn't get any proper sleep.
Fair.
So... yeah, I didn't end up doing that. But we're going to dive back into Silk Song, hopefully, next Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll probably be doing a very similar stream to this, where we just sort of sit there and chat. Though I have been thinking about doing some more casual type of games that I can play and chat at the exact same time.
Poker night.
A handful of those.
Poker night.
You gifted me Poker Night. Yeah, that one. Zcil gifted me Poker Night, and I'm kind of like contractually obligated at this point to do that at some point.
Please, you will love it.
Yeah. Oh, I know I will, because it's got frickin' Strongman in it. Frickin', the Homestar Runner. And then, okay, one other thing is Friday. The movie that we're watching in the Discord is good
Shrek.
old... What? Oh, yeah, it's good old Shrek. So, if you want to watch Shrek and pray to the Ogre Lord, you could do that on Friday. And all my stuff happens at around like 7:00 p.m. Central Time, by the way, so including the movie nights. So I try to keep that kind of consistent for both me and you.
Heck yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hop out of this call, and then I'm gonna end the stream, and then we are gonna raid out into Toxic Soul. So, and thanks for the recommendation for a Toxic Soul show. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, starting the raid right now, and I'm taking off. Thanks for chatting, guys. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Always.
Okay.
And thank you for
Have a good
joining my
one.
server. And thank you for joining my server finally.
Yeah, I'll get in
We,
there properly in a moment here.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.